And we're live. What's happening, everyone? Nicky here, West Ham Fan TV, back once again with another Friday night pint. The boys are back in town. What's happening, everyone?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. You?
Yeah,
I've got my voice back after losing it the other week. So yeah, I've been a bit rough, but yeah, no, it's good to be back. I think this is my first. I can't remember the last one I was on. I think it was post-match pint Brighton. So happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
See, this is the good thing, right? Because obviously you were unwell, but you're on pints. Because I was unwell, I'm not allowed to drink. So,
well, I weren't going to drink tonight. I was gonna, but because I ain't been that well. But I thought, you know what? It's been a shitty first week back at work. You know, getting back into the swing of things after the Christmas break. So I thought, you know what? It's a Friday. It's Friday night pint. It's everyone's favourite show of the week. We might as well just crack on, and someone's got to have a pint because it is called Friday night pint, I suppose.
Yeah, I didn't have time to get any bloody beers. Like, I've got some beers downstairs, but I had to go shopping, we'll come back, cook dinner, and then get ready for this. So
I was going to do
Ryan night pint.
I was going to do dry January, but I think on New Year's Eve when it goes past 12 and it's January, you fuck it up straight away, didn't you? So
yeah, exactly. Exactly. No point in
or
that.
you do typical English style. You say, no, we'll start on Monday, which was the 4th. So you're 4 days in already. So
that's the thing, though, isn't it? You have all these great intentions, and then you have loads of stuff left over from Christmas that you got to eat or drink. It just goes out the window. So
I know. To be honest, I was going to go on some sort of like health kick to get myself really like in shape, and fucking all of a sudden I found mince pies in the cupboard and I started scoffing them.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, the eating has it. I've been all right this week because I've been back to work and I ain't been at home and scoffing things, but it's just trying to get back into a bit of routine in the exercise wise. Because obviously I tweeted out earlier, like, I'm struggling a lot without the gym because the gym for me was like a couple of hours every other morning, clears your mind, sets you up for the day, and I can't motivate myself to go for a run or anything at the moment. I think it's because it's dark mornings and time I get home from work, and you know it's cold out. But do you know what? Tomorrow I've had a lot of good messages today, some good ideas. So tomorrow I'm gonna go for a proper nice long walk, get some fresh air.
Has anybody got any weights? I want to get on the weights, me.
Nah, I'm not really interested in the weights. I enjoy cardio. I enjoy running, and you do a lot of thinking on when you're in the gym. And I like to go on my own. A lot of people saying about do it with your mates, and I like going on my own. I like my own time. So, and I think when you go with people, they sort of put you off because if you're on a running machine and they walk away, you seem to do it as well. So I prefer going on my own. So come on, Boris, get them gins open.
Listen, I'll be honest.
Come on, Boris, get them jeans open.
Someone said to me today about trying to motivate yourself to go. I thought if I pull out a pair of jeans that I tried on 2 months ago, that would probably make me motivate me and want to go because I won't get them on now. I tell you.
Listen, I had every intention to start January in a good way and start exercising and all that, and then it just all goes out the window. I like food too much. I've got to change. This being ill over after Christmas and all that, that's sorted me out. That I can, it's gave me a bit of a kickstart, sort of change my diet a bit. So that's the plan.
Good evening to everybody in the chat. I hope you're all doing well. So what are we going to talk about tonight, boys? Anything happen?
I wonder.
It's been pretty quiet, isn't it? Not a lot's happening.
What a week! What a week, eh? What a bloody week.
I mean. Yeah, it's all sort of happened in the last. Well, the rumours come out yesterday, didn't it? Last 24 hours about the 2 players that left the club, Haller and Snodgrass. But I think the main one everyone wants to talk about, and I know you two are eager to talk about, is Robert Snodgrass. So let's get straight into it. But
I'll tell you, we will get into. The thing is, I've got some comparisons here between the 2 players, right? And I'll look. Before we get into anything about Haller, because the Snodgrass departure might go a little bit unnoticed because of the Haller departure. So I
don't think it will. I think that, do you know what? You always know not only the signs of a good player, but as a good person when they leave a football club. And I've not seen anyone say a bad word about Robert Snodgrass. And that goes for when he left Hull, when he left Leeds. Whenever he goes back to these clubs, they've always got a good word to say about him. And he's just an all-round great bloke and a great professional as well. And I'm sad to see him go, but I understand why he has left the club.
Of course, he's getting on a little bit. He's 33 years old. He's got to get some regular football. He could probably do a job for Big Sam over there at West Brom. I mean, they look at 6s and 7s at times. You know what I mean? Like, but
they're conceding 6s and 7s.
Yeah, exactly. But it's you've got to have a look at what he brought to the club, and it weren't just about footballers. And I've said this so many times. It's not just about getting the player in, it's getting the person in who fits into the dressing rooms. He was a positive influence in the dressing room. He was always up for a bit of banter. One of the funniest blokes. He connected with the fans, and I think he's connected.
It was 4 years ago this month, wasn't it? That he signed for the club, 2017, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he's been at the club 4 years.
Yeah.
So
I was saying it'd be nice if we could have got him earlier in his career, because
I thought Dan was going to say we should give him a testimonial then or something.
He's one of the people that he connects with the fans. Nobody's ever had a bad word to say about him. He's donated so much to charity. I know he's been in contact with charities and stuff when people have been raising money for people. And he's an all-round good person. He's an all-round good bloke, and he will be fondly remembered at West Ham.
I think one of my funniest favourite videos of Robert Snodgrass was the one when Aaron Creswell cut his hair, and him and Andy Carroll. I think that was one that, and they faded his hair, didn't they? And they fucked it up, and he couldn't see it properly. And the panic in Snodgrass's face, like to think of a professional football player on all that money, and he's got Creswell cutting his hair for him, and it was just like he just comes across as such a nice bloke. And as you said, he's done so much for charities since he's been at the club. He done them auctions. He done a lot for Isla Caton as well, which, he done off his own back. He flew to Barcelona with Mark Noble to see us. So yeah, he's just an all-round great bloke, and I wish him well at West Brom.
How much did we get for him though? What was the fee? Because it's saying undisclosed. I ain't seen any much of how much we've got for him.
Minimal, isn't it? That
56 million plus add-on.
Do you know what? Because the thing is, I don't think, unless it was, a decent bit of money, a good, few million, I think we should have tried to at least keep him till the summer, because we've got an FA Cup coming up. I think he would have got games, and I think he is still a good player. Like, I still think he's a good squad player.
I think you're right. I would have liked to have held on to him to the summer, but Big Sam's probably said to him, look, you're going to play every week as long as you're injury free. You're going to play every week at West Brom. Be probably an important player for them, and it looks like Big Sam's trying to get the band back together, because there's rumours that he's trying to get Tompkins and Andy Carroll in as well. So obviously it's and Andy Carroll is a perfect signing for West Brom at the moment, isn't it? It's what they need. If he can stay injury free, the only thing that worries me is we play this lot in 2 weeks' time. So
you know what? That's the thing. We should have kept at least Snoddy to after.
If I was David Moyes right now, I'd be tying Kevin Nolan to the chair so Big Sam can't sign him.
Sometimes it's not about that. When you got a player like him, it's only fair to let him go to get playing time. He's not even getting
that's the thing. Personally, I would like to see him stay, because I'm with you. I think he still had a lot to offer, but you can understand at his stage of life and his career's slowly coming to an end. He's got a few seasons left, and he wants to play, and you can't criticise him for that. Every player that is a football player wants to play football.
I don't think anyone will criticise him.
As I said earlier, I haven't seen anyone say a bad word about him. And you got to remember, when he first come into the club, he was treated like shit by the board.
Mm-hmm.
He was loaned out to Aston Villa. He got his head down. He done well for them. He come back. I think they lost in the playoff final, didn't they? He come back to us, and he become a good squad player, and he chipped with some important performances and goals for West Ham. So yeah, like I said, look, I wish him all the best. People tuning in now, we are actually talking about Snodgrass, not Haller at the moment.
It is a shame. It is a shame.
Let's talk about Sebastian Haller.
Just quickly though, before we do move on to Sebastian Haller, do you think Snodgrass leaving might pave the way for Anderson to maybe come back, because he's not having a good time out in Porto? Maybe bring him back into the squad.
I think he's got to come back. I don't think he's got much of a choice.
We need something, we can't go into, we're going into this game where our squad was thin anyway. Now it's paper thin.
Skinny squad.
It's ridiculous. Snoddy is a squad player, and Haller, was a start when Antonio's not there. But selling them two at this time and the position that we're in, like Dan said, with the FA Cup coming up, Snoddy would have played. You know, it's
no, he wouldn't. There's no guarantee in that.
He would have played. He would have played.
There's no guarantee about that.
I would have played him against Stockport for sure. I would have had him starting against Stockport.
Hell, Nick, we might have needed him up front.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's another. You know, right? He was a makeshift centre midfielder for us as well. You know, as much, we know he's a winger, but we've had him playing in the centre midfield. Again, starts leaving us light in places like that, which it's a real worry. Real worry. As I said, I didn't want to see him go, but he's gone. You know, good luck to him. I wish him all the best because he was a good player. And like you said, he got a lot of criticism from the fans and the board when he was signed for us.
Well, you got to remember he come in as a replacement for Pint. It wasn't a direct replacement, but we sold Pint and then we went and bought Snodgrass. And no, I don't want to disrespect Snodgrass, but at that time, losing a player like Pint and then bringing – but do you know what? With Snodgrass, I'd rather have Snodgrass's attitude at the club than players like Pint. So –
And I tell you what, you've got to give him full respect here because the Sullivan completely mugged him off, and he still, you know, he didn't try and force a transfer. He didn't, you know, throw his toys. He kept his head down and carried on playing. You know, even though you can tell his nose was put out of joint, he tweeted about it. So fair play to him. It shows that he, you know, what a classy guy he is and what a lack of class Sullivan has. You know.
The thing is, that's it. And you think at the end of the day, you know, Sullivan mugged him off in what his comments were and what he said about him, but Snodgrass doing what he did when he went on loan to Villa, then coming back and getting into the side, sticks two fingers back up at Sullivan. And to be fair, that's what you want to see attitudes from players. You want to see that sort of attitude and sit there and say, fuck you, you know. I know my ability, I know how good I am, and you're just some old fool who's got loads of money.
Well, I can't wait any longer. I'm not waiting.
Just before you talk about Haller, I just want to talk about the FA Cup. No, I'm joking. Go on, get into it, Sam. Go on.
Now, obviously, big news today is Sebastian Haller has up sticks and left. He's gone to pastures new. He's gone to Ajax. Look, I'm not going to sit here.
I thought that was a French team.
I'm not going to sit here and sort of poke fun at everybody's face and all that. At the end of the day, opinions are opinions. I've never seen a player split opinion so much as Sebastian Haller. Like, I mean, there are people that slate him to the hill and there are people that defend him to the hill. You know what I mean? I've never seen an absolute division in the fan base over one player. But let me tell you this. And I'll say this this is my opinion, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. Let me start with saying with the positives with Sebastian Haller. The man's got some talent. That's undoubted. He's got a little bit of talent. You can see by a couple of the goals he'd scored and all of that. But I don't think in a system where we played what we played and a player like, I don't think I remember a worse player pulling on the shirt, and that is I've seen some absolute fucking dross come through our fucking team in my life. I don't think I've seen, and you know what, I didn't want to say it because I was always willing him to do well, right? But let me put this point across. If he was a £4 million, £5 million striker, he'd be getting cunted. Let me say that. The only reason, the same with Anderson, the only reason that he got backed by some of the people that he got backed by is because he was our record signing and they was fucking hoping he'd do well. He was lazy. And I wouldn't even say that, right? It's not just he was lazy, but he was lazy for a reason, because at the end of the day, it's come out today that he had this move lined up to Ajax. All them people are saying, no, he don't look unhappy. No, he don't look like this. No, he don't look. It's obvious. He was planning a fucking move. No wonder he fucking planted himself in the middle of a fucking football pitch and moved less than a fucking tree for the last fucking 6 months that he's been here, because he was looking to get out the fucking door. Now, let me just tell you this now, right? I don't think I've ever seen a worse centre forward, and I've seen some fucking bastard centre forwards in my time. I've never seen anyone that fucking moved less than him. I've never seen anyone less interested in him. All that money a week, and he couldn't even fucking put in a shift. And people keep on saying we didn't play to strengths. Yeah, I agree, we didn't play to strengths, But to play to his strength, you would have to fucking stop playing to other people's strengths, and we can't afford to do that. We can't afford a 40. Let's not be fucking hasty here. A 45 million pound centre forward who didn't want to fucking work, who didn't want to move, who didn't want to work for the team, and it's coming out now. All those times when I sat on these streams and saying things like, "It doesn't look like Bowen wants to pass to him," it come out today that he fucking didn't. Because they all got sick of his fucking stupid attitude. Honestly, one of the worst players I've ever seen in a West Ham shirt. I am glad. Do you know what? I've never been so glad. Well, let's be honest. Let's see the predicament that we're in now, right? I've never been so glad to see the back of a player. We've just sold a centre forward, and we ain't got a fucking centre forward. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm fucking glad he's gone. Absolute wank of a player who had no interest in moving any man. And when you look at the two comparisons of the two players that have gone today, Haller and Snodgrass, right? Snodgrass is a man that ain't got all the talent in the world. He's got a bit of talent, absolutely, but he gave his all. Every time he played, he gave his all. Look at Haller. Look at the way Haller has left. Telling everyone, I wasn't happy at West Ham because the system didn't suit me. It's not about Sebastian Haller, it's about West Ham. And at the end of the day, he didn't fit. I do understand his frustrations. I don't blame him in the fact that like he was unhappy here, but at the end of the day, it's down to him on all that money and for all of the fucking money we paid him in wages. I think it's ended up. We are lucky that we got back half of the money for him. Like, and anyone that sits there telling me, oh, you know, he's a great player and all that, they took half. Golden Sullivan took half of the fucking money for him. They lost £22.5 million to get him out the door.
That means fuck all. That means fuck all. This is Golden Sullivan. They lose money on everyone. That means nothing. They lose money on every single player. I don't think we've ever made a profit.
He was shocking. He was absolutely shocking. And the thing is, yeah, he'd do a backflip every now and then and put one in the back of the net. But I don't want him doing backflips. If he's not going to do, I've never seen a player with a worse touch. He's meant to be one of the people saying he's not a goal scorer, he's a provider. How the fuck can you provide if you can't fucking bring the ball down, track the ball, or pass the ball?
People say he's a provider. People say he's a provider. He only got one assist in his career at West Ham.
Absolute terrible player.
The thing is, Nick, I do understand what you're saying, mate. I don't think he's the worst striker I've ever seen at West Ham, to be fair. I paid money to watch Meadu and Benny McCarthy play at one point. Look, Haller, I tweeted it out last night. I'm gutted it never worked out for him at West Ham, but I'm not too fussed that he's left the club, if that makes sense. You know, I'm not, you know, it says a lot about Dutch football that the money that they've paid for Sebastian Haller is the record in Dutch football. So it's not a great league. He's been out there before. He'd do well out there. He's sort of, as I said to my mate earlier when I said to him, I said, certain actors suit certain films. You know, you can't put bad actors in good films and things like that. I mean, Haller just wasn't suited to the Premier League. You know, we could have played to his strengths. He showed glimpses sometimes that, you know, you always, nothing to do with his price tag, but you look at him as his stature, his build, you know, you think, yeah, we've got a good striker there, but it just didn't work out for him. Whether it was the way we played, whether it was the way he played, it's just one of them things. And we've had to get him out the door. It makes me think now, though, that I think you're right in a way, Nicky, that he knew that he was moving to Ajax. So I wouldn't say that. I don't think any football player really goes out on the pitch to not score goals as a striker and to not perform. But when you got in the back of your head that you don't want to get injured because you've got a move coming up, that's a totally different thing. And yeah, I think it was right that he had to go. And the one thing is now, I don't think, well, I hope, because I've put a lot into David Moyes in the last few months, especially, that I hope that he wouldn't have let him go without having one or at least two signings ready to come in that door in the next few days or the next week.
Right, where to start? Where to start with Nicky's? Honestly, I don't believe what I just heard there.
There's nowhere to start.
Well, let's break it
down. Dan, hang on. Check it out. Round two.
Mean, honestly, to say one of the worst and one of the worst players, one of the worst touches. You don't remember Enner Valencia at West Ham? Don't remember any Valencia playing?
He was better than Sebastian Haller.
What, he had a better touch than Sebastian Haller?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying to me? He had a better touch than Sebastian Haller. How many times we sat there and we watched the game together when he brought the ball down from fucking must have been 20 odd feet in the air, brought it down, touched and turned it. What? Because I don't sit there with a notepad and write down going, that was that touch, that was that touch. Here's the thing how it goes. Look, let me put this qualifier out there. Do I think that we should have kept Sebastian Haller at West Ham and he had a future at this club? No, I don't. I think, right, it's the right move for everyone, but not at the right time. I think we could have got more money for him in the summer. We've sold him now. We've got a thinner squad. I think he would have continued to play more games. He would have got a few more goals. He would have played in the cup, and we could have sold him for similar money in the summer, right? People are talking about he's a shit player.
I disagree, mate, because his value was only going down. He's lost half of his value in a year and a half. A year and a half.
That's what we've paid for him. No, but that's what we've paid for him. We paid that money for him. He went and got that. He went and got them goals at Frankfurt. How would his value have gone down if he went and added more goals to his career in the Premier League? That's what he would have done. He would just added more goals. It maybe even if it was 3, 4, 5. We're talking about 6 months later. Ajax would have still come in and probably paid around a similar amount of money. People say he's a shit player. I'm sorry, you don't get 84 goals and 32 assists in your career in 200 appearances if you're a shit player. You just don't do it. I fully agree.
Quite a lot of them in the Dutch league. And people that saying, he's going to go to Ajax and he's going to do well. Yeah, he's going to score 20 goals a year because he's AZ Alkmaar every fucking week.
About this fucking Dutch league. We keep shitting on, he's going to Ajax. Listen, we act as if West Ham was in that league. We'd fucking boss that league. No, we wouldn't. There's a lot of teams in that league we wouldn't fucking beat. We couldn't score against Astra fucking Gugu.
Who wouldn't be beating that? They're not. You know what? At least Scotland have got fucking 2 teams that are decent.
Listen, we're talking about Ajax. Ajax are a far bigger and better team than West Ham. I'm a West Ham fan. If you like it or not, that's the facts. They're a bigger and better team. They'd spank us.
They're a bigger club than West Ham. They got to the Champions League semi-final year before last. Am I right? They got beat by Tottenham in the semi-final.
That's all the but have they ever won the Betway Cup?
No, that's right, mate.
Yeah, there you go. Now, listen, I can't argue against that. But it's, we sit and talk about this league and this team, right? As if, we'd just go out and just dominate against these teams, as if we're far better than these teams. Like, okay, it may not be as competitive or they're different leagues as the Premier League, but you can't discount it. Look at the fucking Czech league. We went and got Thomas Souček and Soufal from their league. You wouldn't say that's a great league, but they've come and they've fit West Ham and they've adapted. Sometimes it just don't work out. I think if you put Sebastian Haller in a more progressive attacking team, he gets goals.
If you put Haller in Man City's team, it'd be totally different. It'd be scoring goals. I do think that sometimes it is the way you set up and the players you have around you. I agree with that. You look at his in German league ain't easy, and he scored goals for fun out there. He's come over to the Premier League and he hasn't adapted. He's not the first player, and he won't be the last player that won't adapt to English football. It's a totally different game over here. It's faster. It's more brutal. Haller, when I looked at him, I thought, he's got the build to be a good striker in the Premier League. And maybe if he did play for a Liverpool or a Man City, he would have scored goals, but he didn't. So
I guarantee you, if he would have been a player,
he got bullied by a dwarf against Chelsea.
Yeah, but you say that dwarf, that's the biggest dwarf I've ever seen because he's 6 foot.
It's small in comparison to the athletes and the centre backs in professional football.
It takes a lot for a striker to come into the Premier League from another country and hit the ground. There's only certain elite strikers that take the form from the clubs they play, whether it's in Germany or in Spain, and they come into the Premier League and hit the ground and continue the way they do. Haller isn't a bad player. You don't sign a player to build your attacking style around, your attacking team around. A player that played a season for Frankfurt in a 2 or a 3 and then ask him to play up top on his own. That's the big problem. This is the thing. Haller's took a lot of stick. All right, maybe he did want to leave because he weren't happy playing up top on his own. Fair enough. But at the end of the day, when you spend money to sign a striker who's got a good, decent record, plays well in a 3, plays well in a 2, and then you're asking him to play up top by himself and run the channels, which ain't his game, you can't criticise. You're sitting there saying he's got a terrible touch. Has anyone actually watched Antonio 2 seasons ago? His touch is awful. He improved it. He worked hard at it. Yeah, this is the thing. But
this geezer is meant to be like a French Teddy Sheringham, Scott. And he couldn't control the ball. He couldn't control it. How many times did you watch it? Don't be honest with me. I want you to be honest with me, right? Get your Haller spectacles off. How many times did you watch him playing football? Someone would roll a ball to him 5 yards away, and he couldn't fucking control it. How many times?
Okay, just gonna. How many times have we all sat here since Antonio's been at this club and slated him for his touch? We was all sitting here 2 seasons ago saying we should sell him.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then Antonio keeps on going, right? He keeps on going. He tries and tries. Haller just controls the ball, look, and starts staring at it like it's going to come back to him, like it's got telekinetic powers. And it's going to fucking roll back to him.
But this is the thing, right?
Different players,
it's completely exactly different types of players who play in different systems. Antonio can play that lone striker. You can't expect a player to hold up the ball. We had the same problem with Andy Carroll a few years ago, playing him up front on his own. He's slow, he ain't quick, he holds up the ball, can't pass it to no one because we're sitting far too deep. And that's exactly what we do now. We've done no different to what we did then to what we do now when we end Andy Carroll up top. Plays up top on his own.
Me personally, I think Haller would have been great if we'd have kept Matt Jarvis.
He was a record signing. It didn't get stick. He didn't get stick.
This is the thing. You can't sit there and say he's the worst striker that's played for the club because
I don't think Nicky really means that. I know Nicky's not a fan of him, but Nicky's seen a lot worse than Sebastian Haller at West Ham.
None of them cost £45 million.
Yeah, I know.
That's not his fault, is it? That's not his fault. He never had a player. £45 million player. The thing is, there's another thing as well. Look at it in context, right? Pellegrini brought him in. Pellegrini wanted to play a possession, attacking style-based sort of football, right? So he comes in under Pellegrini. 6 months later, Pellegrini's gone. We've got David Moyes in, who's a much more pragmatic and defensive manager. So while he's adapting to the league, the whole style and whole philosophy changes. And now he's under a manager. He doesn't fit. And I'm not criticizing. Someone said, why are you criticizing the system? I'm not. I'm just saying that.
You know what Pellegrini's biggest fault was? Do you know what Pellegrini's one of his biggest faults was? Selling Hernandez. Hernandez.
Yeah. Was that him, though? Was that him?
And then Hernandez and Haller would have been perfect. Exactly. We see them two play together for a couple of games. We see them at Brighton away. Haller and Hernandez, the way they linked up. That's what Haller was missing. You know, he's not that sort of striker that can play up top on his own. We know that, and I can understand him getting frustrated because he has a bad game. He gets criticised. He knows that strikers want to score goals. That's what they're paid to do. You know, well, I hate it when a striker's on a goal bonus because ain't that what you sign them for, to fucking score anyway?
This is the thing. I don't understand how you bring in a striker that you think's a top striker and you think's going to get you goals. You don't build a team around him. Like you said, you sell Hernandez, who you would have had the bigger guy, had the poacher combination. You know, but it was the same with Hernandez. How many times have we asked Hernandez to play up top on his own?
I'm sitting on the fence. I'm not sitting on no fence. I've said it how it is. You know, I'm not fussed that Haller's left the club. I want him to do well. I want every player that signs for the club to do well. Of course we do. But do you know what? If we sign Josh King tomorrow, I won't see no difference between Josh King and Haller, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see no difference between the two. And I'd probably think to myself, all right, well, at least Josh King's played in the Premier League before.
But again, his goal scoring record's not great. He had one decent season at Bournemouth. That's it. He's not the answer. He's good to have as a backup player. But
what we need, though, the only thing that worries me is that, and this is where the board get a lot of stick, and rightly so, because it seems to me that they might look at that league table and think, right, we only need 4 more wins to guarantee safety, and our season will just fizzle out, and we'll probably finish like fucking 8 points above Sheffield United or something, and stay up on the last fucking game of the season. But because that's what worries me. But because we're in a real good position now to sort of kick on and have a good second half of the season with the games we've got coming up as well. If we can get a couple of players in the next week. You know, because David Sullivan will probably look at it and think, right, our squad's good enough to get at least another 4 or 5 wins just to see us stay up this season. And that's what worries me because we've had such a great start to the season. And I hope that David Moyes won't stand for that. And I hope that we can push because this season's so all over the place. Who knows what can happen this season? I'm not saying we're going to win the fucking league or we're going to finish Champions League. But if we could maybe push for a Europa League, that would be a massive massive season for West Ham. And as well, I know we're going to talk about it later, but concentrate on the FA Cup as well. Give that a real good go this season.
The biggest thing, like I'm in a bit with you, right? He's gone. I didn't mind the player, but he's gone. We've got okay money for him, right? We've lost money, but I don't look at when you sign a player 2 seasons ago. I don't look at it as you've lost money because you've got a season and a half of football out of the player that you've signed, and he still has put a few goals in and got some points. So it's not a massive loss when you look at it in that term. The football, the transfer market's a crazy thing at the moment with everything that's going on in the world. The biggest factor that we've got at this moment is we've sold Snodgrass, we've sold Haller, and all we've got as a striker is Antonio and then the youngsters. That is the big worry.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is, I think it's detracted a little bit from the fucking state that we're leaving ourselves in, to be quite honest with you, because he was so, because myself, I thought he was so poor, and like, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not knocking Dan. Dan, he's got an opinion, and he's quite entitled to his opinion. Anybody else that supports Haller or thought he was there, we all see different things in football. That's the great thing about football, like, and don't think that I'm sitting here just because I got an opinion doesn't make it mean I'm right.
That's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. You know
what I'm saying is, right, I think it's detracted a little bit by the fact that you look at what we've got now, the Finnish squad in the Premier League. We had a Finn squad anyway. We've just let another 2 players go. All them players we let go in the summer. We've got the Finnish squad in the Premier League. Look at the players we've let go, and look at the wages we've shed off of that, of that wage bill, and all of a sudden, alarm bells are starting ringing again. Now, I'm not saying, look, I thought we would struggle at the beginning because of injuries. We've been, let's be fair, we've been very lucky with injuries this year in comparison to other years. Like, we've had Antonio go down, and I think Bonner for a few games. But apart from that, we've been pretty all right on injuries. It's unprecedented, really. But when I look at that, we've got something like 19 first-team players now. That's it's not even 2 teams. And I'm thinking to myself, like, think of all of the money we've got in and not spent. We've got close to £50 million in our pockets, and haven't spent a fucking penny. Look at all the wages we've shredded off the wage bill. Now, if they don't go out tomorrow and get him a striker, I'm just going to start to worry a little bit, because although Haller was fucking useless, he was a body and he could play at the end of the day. If you're sitting on £50 million and you're not going to fucking spend the money, I to be honest with you, I think the 2 clowns take the piss because no fans are there. That's what I think.
This is another thing, and me and Scott was talking about this earlier about this would be the perfect time now. Now, I'm not a fan of it. I don't want it to happen personally, but this would be the perfect time now for the club to get Marko Arnautovic in, because there are no fans there. So Marko Arnautovic would come in on loan for 6 months, probably do well, and then he'll bugger off at the end of the season. But with having no fans there, I think if fans were in the stadium, I don't think the club would entertain it at all. But I think by not having fans there, Marko Arnautovic, it wouldn't surprise me if they did get him in. But if they was to get in, say like a Josh King, they bought him outright, whatever it is they want for him, 8 million, and then they got a Marko Arnautovic on loan. They're 2 decent players. I'm not knocking Marko Arnautovic for his talent. I'm not. He's a good player.
Yeah.
But me personally, I wouldn't want him back at the club. That's just my feeling. If he played well and scored, of course I cheer. I'm a football fan. I'm fickle. We're all like that. But I can't have him walking around wearing the badge again, because it just don't sit right with me the way he treated us last time. So
the thing with King in and out of it, I think they said the other day, is my problem is with January transfer windows, and because we are so thin, ideally we need players that can come in and make an impact fairly soon. Josh King's played about 8 games in 6 months, and Arnautovic has played about 30 games in 2 years in the Chinese league. I don't think they're going to be up to speed with the Premier League, and I think it's going to take him a while to get going. So say Antonio does get injured.
So you're telling me that you're not going to have an Arnautovic or King, and you don't want them because they're not up to the speed of the Premier League, and you're sat there for the past.
What's the point?
Sebastian Haller.
No, what I'm saying is, no. Yeah, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying Haller is the answer to West Ham's problems. What I said is I think we could have still got the money. I don't see the rush to go and sell him like straight away first week of the transfer window. We could have got more for him later. I said that it weren't a fit, and yeah, it's probably best to part ways at some point. I just said I don't see the rush to get him out. What I'm saying is now, what is the point of getting one player who's not up to speed? Well, I don't think with the Premier League, but with our team and things like that, and then just bringing in other players that aren't going to make an instant impact. You're just swapping for like. You know what I mean? You're going to get
I'll be honest. I think Arnautovic could come in and hit the ground running straight away. I personally think he could. And the thing is with Josh King as well, he hasn't been injured. He just hasn't been playing for Bournemouth because he's obviously wants out the club. So he's been keeping himself fit. It would take any player 3 or 4 games to get up to scratch with the Premier League anyway. So, but you know, we need someone. And the other player we're linked with, obviously, Olivier Giroud. I look at him, he's 35 years old. Listen, he's a good player, Giroud. He's doing well for Chelsea, but he's doing well for Chelsea. You come in at West Ham, there's a lot more pressure on you straight away because the fans are going to be on his back straight away. And will he score goals? Yeah, of course he would. He's, as I said, he's a good player, but what's the difference between him and Haller? You know, the way they play. Giroud's not going to run around for 90 minutes.
Yeah. This is the thing. When you look at the way we set up and the strikers that we've got, they've got to have more to the game than just scoring goals. Giroud's brain, as a footballer, is superb. His movement is great. The problem with Giroud is you need players up and around him. We don't play with players up and around the striker. So Giroud's not going to benefit if playing for us.
We're also linked to that the other Sparta Prague player in with the youngster. He's only 18 years old. It's about £20 million. That's a lot of pressure to put on an 18-year-old. If they went out and spent that on him, if they went out and spent 20 million on him, and they got 2 players in on loan as well, say like a Josh King and an Arnautovic, then I could see that's a good deal because he's for next season. That 18-year-old, sorry, but it's too much pressure to go out and put all the money on him.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That is the problem. You can't getting a player now, a youngster, is going to be a gamble. It's a massive, massive gamble because again, if you go and get that youngster and then you don't sign Arnautovic, you don't sign Josh King, you've then got the youngster and you've got Antonio. Antonio goes down injured again. You're putting all that heat and all that pressure on this youngster, and it could all backfire on him. Listen, you could get him in and he could hit the ground running and be the next best thing in football, but it's a lot of pressure to put on a youngster. And that's the same with Odebeku, the youngster we've got at the moment. He's been injured for a while. He's a talent. You can see that. The kid knows where the goal is. He's a great finisher. But again, bringing him in at the moment, if you're having to thrust him in because Antonio's injured and he's all we've got, it puts a lot of pressure on that young
the thing is with bringing that youngster in at the moment. The thing is, we're bringing that youngster in. We're not under pressure. We're not under pressure for relegation. So sometimes it's good to bring him in when there's no pressure on us. But it's a lot of pressure. Our fans sometimes seem to do this. They've done it with Tony Martinez. Silva. There's been loads of players in the last few years that the fans are saying, yeah, chuck him in the first team, He's scoring goals left, right, and centre for the reserves and the under 23s. It's a different game when you step up. Look when Silva come in, he played in the FA Cup against Birmingham that time. He looked lost on that pitch. I'm not saying that if you'd have given him a run in the team, but we need to buy someone for now. We need to get someone in now who's played in the Premier League or not played in the Premier League, but is a bit more experienced than some of these youngsters. Someone that can just come into that first team now, and hit the ground running.
Yeah, that's the attributes that we need.
It's such a tough league that they took Sebastian Haller, a 6'4" fucking French centre forward, sent him to Amsterdam because he needed a few spliffs. Because he just couldn't cut fucking mustard. Anyway, let's take some comments. What's the betting? We ended up with another player who doesn't fit the system, says Chris Harris. West Ham made an official bid for Casidio, 19-year-old centre CDM, very highly rated. Listen, midfield is another place we probably need a little bit more reinforcement as well. Chris Harris, you defend who you want. Is your opinion? That's absolutely right. Everyone's entitled to an opinion.
No, we don't need any more in midfield, mate. We've got a buffet in there, rice and potato salad. That's all we need, mate. We've got a buffet.
just my opinion, but I think we've been playing with 10 men with Haller. Imagine now with someone who's going to run and give 100%. No Marco, Adam Harding, whoever we get, the poor little sod will be up front, up there on his own. Do you know, my ideal replacement, we're never going to sign him. I don't think we'd be able to afford him, but my ideal replacement would be Danny Ings. I think he's class.
Not in a million years.
Christopher Simpson says can't get a loan as well as we have 2 loanees already. And Outbitch taking Snoddy's number 11 when he joins.
You can take loans from outside of the
country.
Yeah. So you can bring in 2 foreign loans.
Mark Sherman Brown says Diego Costa.
Yeah, look, I've seen a lot of people say about Diego Costa, and the thing is, I see something today. I was reading something today that apparently he's got something wrong with his legs, something to do with his veins, and that's one of the reasons. That's why Atletico Madrid let him. But then again, we signed Demba Ba with a fucking bolt in his knee, so what is it? Anyone we would.
Have Demba Ba though,
Freddie Lundberg passed a medical of a broken rib.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't put it
on the X-ray.
I really like Diego Costa. It probably wouldn't turn out to be a great move in the end, but I really like him and seeing him at West Ham. He is the king of bastards.
Yeah, the thing is, there was a comment there that we need a player to come in and work hard and work like Antonio. Let's be honest, as much as it pains me to say it, that player's Arnie.
I totally agree, mate. And as I said, I'm not knocking him as a football player. He's talent wise. I loved him when he was at the club, but I just can't. As I said, look, football fans are fickle. He comes in, scores a couple of goals. I'm fucking doing the conga around the living room, going, "Ooh." But that's how football is. But I don't know. I'd rather go for someone else. Go for someone else over Arnie.
Let's talk about Eddie Nketiah, because a lot of comments are asking us about Eddie Nketiah. It's come out today that we're in for him. They're talking about 30 million. No, thank you very much. I think he's decent player. I don't think he's what we need. At all.
That's the thing. I mean, you look at that Ryan Brewster from Liverpool. I think he went for something like 25 million and he never kicked a ball in the Premier League.
Well, we've been linked with they were talking about on Sky Sports News earlier, Origi as well at Liverpool. Yeah, me too.
He ain't playing fucking God knows how long, is he? Origi.
But every time he plays, he scores and he does well. I really like him, but what are Liverpool going to want for him? If you're looking they're going to want about 35, 40 million for him.
That's mental. I'll take him on loan.
Last season, Origi's stats is he scored more goals in night matches than he did during the day.
Oh, well, we get a lot of late kickoffs lately. We'll be all right. We'll win the fucking league.
I wouldn't be spending 30 million on Origi if I'm honest.
But I think
the other kid.
Yeah, I don't think Nketiah. I don't think it's the sort of player that we need. We need someone who's strong, can hold the ball up and
let's be honest, carry it and drive. It's how Moyes. If we're going to sign a player and pay big money for a player, bringing him in, it's how Moyes is looking to set up next season. That's the other thing.
You don't think he's going to set up the same way, no?
Well, he may not. We don't know. He probably will, but what I'm saying is we don't know. That's what we've got to be looking into, because you've got to be thinking, like we said, this time of the season is really tough, because normally a team sitting in mid-table does get sucked into the relegation battle. So we're in a decent position. No, but
this is a really interesting.
You've got to look at the stats and the way it all lines out. And it's just that if we're signing and going to pay big money for a player to bring in now, it's got to fit the system next season as well.
I agree. But that's the thing is, that's what we need to start looking at. But another thing, because someone, I just thought I'd put that comment. That was a really interesting comment. Obviously, there's a lot of deeper.
That's a ridiculous comment, in my opinion.
I think it's got an interesting layers, but it's easily, I suppose.
What am I supposed to do? Because Golden Sullivan own my club, I'm not going to go and watch my football team.
This is what I've said. This is what I said before.
People have had before us. It was the Magnus. It was the Browns, the Kearns. It's gone through history at West Ham. So for people to say that, I mean, players when a player screws you over, it hurts you a lot more.
Of course it does, because you
take them to your heart. I mean, and out of which he started awfully, didn't he? Let's be honest. Remember his first few fucking games? He was like, fucking. I was starting to think he was the worst player I've ever seen.
I remember him getting sent off at Southampton away.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, fuck me, what have we signed here? And then he come back, and I remember he got his first goal. We beat Chelsea at home, and he scored the winner. He dived into the crowd, and ever since that moment, the fans took to him. And the fans fell in love with him. And I remember things that he done, like when he scored at Stoke away, and he ran over to Mark Hughes. And do you remember when he scored against Burnley at home, and he ran into what was his name? Who's the defender?
Tarkowski,
when he ran in his face laughing, and that's the sort of player you love, and it hurts when players screw you over. It hurts, just like when Dimitri Payet, when he wanted to leave the club, it hurt us. If Golden Sullivan left, we'll all be fucking partying.
That's it. That's the thing. The unfortunate thing of supporting our football club is you have to put money in the owner's pockets, and that's the problem.
Yeah. Imagine Costa with VAR. He'd be screwed.
I'll be honest. I probably wouldn't take Costa.
No, it's a nice sort of fantasy to have.
Scott's more of a Starbucks man, in your Scott.
That's it. It's just I think he's more likely to upset the apple cart more than anything else. If I'm honest,
Scott's got a Waitrose coffee card.
Yeah. Scott's on more money than us. I agree with you, Scott. I think that he would upset the dressing room.
But do you know what the worry is as well? Is all these reports coming out as well with the Haller sales. We're using a lot of the money to pay off Frankfurt, the money we owe Frankfurt. So we're still not going to have a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, but Dan, like we have this argument. I mean, they always seem like we all know the fucking sources that we're talking about. We all know the people that they put out information from. When it suits them, we paid all the money up front. When it don't suit them, we didn't pay all the money up front. When it suits them, he's on 70 grand a week. When it suits them a different way, he's on 150 grand a week. Like, if the thing is, right, and there's no argument against this. They say, yeah, but they put that money aside. Well, if they ain't got to spend it, then they've got it. Do you know what I mean? If they ain't got it, then they've got it. If they ain't got to pay for him anymore, then they've got that money because they was going to pay it off anyway. Like, there's no denying it. Like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they've every team in the Premier League is affected by COVID or some sort of pandemic or something like that. The fact of the matter is, having crowds there ain't as financially crippling as they would want you to think. Like, it's absolutely fucking. They get more money for the games being on television. That's fact. They get more money for the games being on television than they do if the crowds are there. That's absolute fact. Like, it's not as crippling as it seems to me. Like, East London is more affected than anyone else with COVID. The finances of COVID, because everyone else seems to be getting on with business as it is.
That's it. That's the bang on point, mate. At the end of the day, the money to pay Frankfurt would have been set aside in the budget at the start of the season. So they've got the money to pay Frankfurt. So all this about we've sold Haller to pay for Haller is bollocks. We haven't. We've sold Haller. That 22 million quid that we've got, or whatever it is profit on top of what we've budgeted for at the start of the season. They budgeted to have no fans in the ground. Every single Premier League club budgeted not to have any fans in the crowd. Like you said, we seem to be the only club that budgeted and then went, we've got no money. If every single team was not spending money or just spending 10, 15 million, that's it, then you can sit there and say, do you know what? Yeah, they haven't got the money. But it's bollocks. They have. They're choosing not to use the money. They're choosing not to spend money. And
we've got the Diangana money as well. That's obviously Kent Hammer's talking about the Diangana money.
What you sit there and say is that, oh no, we're going to use the Haller money's got to go towards signing Ben Rama at the end of the season. When we get
the money that we've got for Ben Rama.
The Haller money has to go straight back into this window.
It's got to.
And I mean, I've seen a couple of people mention him now. I mean, Dembele, we've been linked with him. I don't think we've got any chance of getting him. Someone said about Christian Benteke. Now, he's not gone. I think his contract runs out in the summer with Crystal Palace. The thing is with Benteke, like, he's only 29. He seems like he's been around for a lot longer. If it was Benteke at Aston Villa, I'd take him all day long. But I think he scored. I think he scored like about 40 goals in 170 odd games for Palace. Something like that. So, but he looks like a sort of signing that David Moyes would bring in.
Oh yeah.
And then there's no difference between him and Haller.
That's exactly. He's another player that's a lump who's got not hardly any pay.
That's where he's been linked with Batshuayi, yeah, but he's on loan at Crystal Palace, and he Batshuayi, so
yeah, can't get a game.
It's crazy. It's going to be a crazy transfer window. Like I was hoping that it weren't going to be, but then again, secretly, yeah, I love it. Really.
Stevie C says, "Why do we assume to be the club's accountants? I don't assume to be the club's accountant, mate. But I've got eyeballs. I can see what's going on. I can see what's going in, and I can see what's going out. I'm not assuming to be the club's accountant, but when you see everyone else spending money and we're standing there fucking with pictures of David Sullivan and David Gold with their pockets inside out, looking for money and butterflies coming out of their wallets, I'm not having it. I'm not stupid.
What is that?
I'm not assuming to be any accountant, but you know, you only have to look around what's going on around us and what's going on, the wages we've trimmed, like the money we've spent. I went through all of this nonsense, like they spread it over such a large amount of time, and as I say, they speak so much bollocks and leak so much nonsense into sort of like West Ham accounts. For us all to to try and pull the wool over our eyes.
Our Ajax are only giving us 5 million up front for Ali. That was the other one.
I've pulled them apart. I've pulled them apart on many occasions. It's absolute nonsense.
So someone's just mentioned there about Jesse Lingard. You know, we've been linked with him. Now you say that. I'll tell you what, you say that. I think someone like Jesse Lingard at West Ham, right? It would suit him. It would suit him because he hasn't got the pressures of being a Man United player. He can come to West Ham. He's not a bad player. You know, we all remember him in the World Cup. He's had a bad couple of seasons, don't get me wrong. But I'll take him at West Ham all day long. I think he's a good addition to the squad.
But again, he's a winger, isn't he? He's not really a striker.
Yeah, that's how we play, isn't it? That's how we play on the wing. We don't need
whose place are you going to take wide like on the wing? This is the thing.
Lingard can play centre mid as well.
He's a talented player, and things just haven't gone right for him lately. So there's a player in there, but
he's out of contract.
He could fit the system. It's just how much he's determined to want to get his career back on track.
Well, that's the thing, because a lot of the time you get these certain players that he's been at Man United all these years, then he sees it as a step down, dropping down to West Ham. I don't think he's going to have that drive and that hunger for West Ham. And plus, again, like I said, mega wages for someone who's, really on a massive decline.
What you've got to think is that you've got the Euros coming up this season.
Exactly.
Lingard could look at it, I want to get myself back in for an England call-up. This is the thing. These are the sort of players you've got to be looking at. Players that need to play games to get themselves in the national side. That's why we're being linked with Giroud. Chelsea to sell Giroud, in my opinion, they're mad. But Giroud wants to play football.
I can't see if they're starting Tammy Abraham ahead of him every week, then Frank Lampard deserves to be sacked. Honestly, he should with the team that they've got, he should be starting each week.
But that's it. It's opinions, isn't it? They signed Werner from wherever they got him from.
Yeah, and he ain't
out on the wing. So it's that's managers for you. They see things that us fans don't, and sometimes they come unstuck. But
my old mate Elliot Watson from work is donated $4.99. Thank you very much, mate. I'll buy a cup of coffee when I see you next.
I just wanted to bring this comment.
I didn't even read his comment.
Oh, sorry, I thought you read it.
No,
he just flashed up and then took it away.
Definitely don't want Benteke. 5 goals in the past 3 seasons, not good enough. I'll take Armstrong or King as long as Moyes is on.
Yeah, that Adam Armstrong, he's got a great record, and I think we've done well out of the Championship, and I think there are some good players. Another one said people mentioned about the Brentford striker. Is it Tony?
Yeah,
I can't see him Brentford, with another promotion charge.
I mean, Silverhammer's put this Friday night could easily be a rerun of the show last season. You seem to be mentioning players that get mentioned every window. It's because we're linked with them every window, mate. What are we supposed to talk about? We're talking about players that everyone's talking about. We're talking about, we're linked with Messi. We're linked with this player. We're linked with that. We're not linked with them. We're linked with players that we're talking about. So, sorry.
It's strange.
I don't think he was having a pop. I think he was. I think that was him making.
I'm just saying it's frustrating for me because we're always linked with the same players, but these are the players we're linked with.
Yeah, Sean O'Connor, Nicky Haller is class, man. What are you saying? I'm saying he's shit. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't think I can make it any more clearer than that, to be honest.
I debunked that. Go back earlier and see me debunk that. But do you know what? As well, I knew it as soon as obviously Haller got sold. We would be linked to every striker and their grandmother. Like it was just bound to happen.
To be fair, it's not. I don't think it's just these rumours were coming out before Haller was sold. Like that Haller, and this is another thing that annoys me about our board as well. And I don't want to keep on going back to it because I've spent years moaning about the board. But all of these transfers that seem to take so long and are so difficult and all that, we're not let people go eat on. This rumour come up yesterday and he was gone today.
That's the thing. Isn't it? That's the thing, isn't it? It's that they drag out.
I think this
Randolph's one was the longest medical in history.
I think this Haller deal took even the ITKs by surprise. It just sort of happened within like 24 hours, didn't it? No one knew what was going on. Then they'll claim that they knew.
We get him out the door so quick.
It's another player. That's
finished.
He's one player we definitely don't want. He is absolutely useless.
Who?
Dwight Gale.
Dwight Gale.
Finished.
I think I'd rather take Dwight York at the moment.
But it's I think that the thing is, we don't seem to, when we're going for plays, we make offers, they get rejected, we come back in with a second bid and a third bid. When it's us, we'll take the first offer that comes to us and they're out the door. Like, why do we never?
They're terrible. They're terrible businessmen. How they've made the money that they've made.
I tell you how they've made the money, and this is people go, how can they be bad businessmen if they're billionaires? They've exploited porn back when it was all fucking brand new and shiny, and not many people wanted to touch it. They got in on the ground floor with the porn industry and made their money that way. I'm telling you now, they would not become millionaires.
Because in the 70s,
they would not become millionaires or billionaires if they had to start today. They ain't got it in them. They're really bad. Really, really bad when it comes to business, especially in football. Anyway, it's fucking shocking. Like one day, I'd love to see us actually just when we're trying to sell someone, reject an offer and say, "No, we want this much."
The problem is with West Ham is that we're like eBay. We always bid up for players and shit like that. When we sell players, we just do it. Buy it now. There you go. Bang, one price.
It's right. I just think they get. To be honest with you, I think they get exploited in football. They might be good businessmen outside of football, but in football, it's a different kettle of fish, and people were just rinsing them left, right, and centre. I wouldn't be surprised, and this is, I'm not making any allegations or anything like that. I don't know anything more, but I was saying to Dan last night, I wouldn't be surprised if there was something hooky going on with some of these transfers, to be honest with you, because we always seem to be giving these players away for basically fucking half the money that we've already paid for them.
I was saying this on Twitter. How West Ham would it be that we finally get Jovic at West Ham? Now we sold Haller. Jovic was Haller's strike partner at Frankfurt, and we was like last summer, please let's get Jovic in with Haller. That'd be brilliant. Now we let Haller go, we get Jovic in. That'd be typical West Ham. But yeah, I haven't seen us really linked to it.
Don't know the name of this guy. Do you know what? I saw the comment first. I thought this is a made-up player, so I've googled the player and make sure it's not. So
no, it's not.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out what it meant. Like, I was trying to figure out what the double entendre was with that.
No.
I've heard of him. He's real. Yeah, I've heard of him. He's a good centre forward.
Oh, fair enough.
Bundesliga. All right, it didn't work out with Haller, but doesn't mean to say it's not going to work out with any players. But as I said, it's
going to be a mental few weeks now. But
it doesn't help that, like, obviously Moyes did come out and say the other week, didn't he? He said, like, we're behind everyone else when it comes to our scouting system. And this,
but then this is where Moyes has got to take a lot of credit because he's looking into things like that. Moyes still gets stick now off some of our fans. And sometimes I think to myself, they're just slating him for no reason at all. When you look at what he's actually doing at the football club, he's trying to build a foundation. It's going to take a bit of time. It's not going to happen overnight. We all sat there and fans praised Pellegrini, loved Pellegrini because he was this foreign manager that's managed Man City. Two of our record signings, Haller and Anderson, are both out the club.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't.
Moyes needs criticising when he gets things wrong. At the minute,
I'm not saying not to criticise David Moyes.
No, it's not. But this is the thing about some of our fan base. You look at that fucking copy and paste merchant West Ham transfers on Twitter. You look at the fucking things he's saying about David Moyes. He sat there defending Haller. I mean, I think that cunt's fucking been sucking him off or saying after fucking games, because the things he says about him is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, every time that Haller gets mentioned, he blames David Moyes for the fact that he's shit.
The thing is, like with some of our, you look at David Moyes. David Moyes goes 5 or 6 games unbeaten. Everyone goes, "Oh yeah, I'm really into David Moyes now." He's turning the club. He loses one game or one bad result or one bad lineup, bang, they're on him again. This is the problem, and social media plays a lot towards this. I understand that, but there's so many people that got a hate campaign against David Moyes when really they just need to look at the bigger picture and see what he's doing. He's trying to build for the next person that takes over him. He's in a better position than when he's joined the club. That's what he's trying to do. He's looking at the scouting system. He's looking at, did you ever see Pellegrini or Slaven Bilic at that point going to away games and watching other teams? You don't. David Moyes wants to do it all. He wants to run the club. Let's just back him a bit more than what some people are.
That's it. The thing is, this is it. He's trying to change the football side of the club from top to bottom. He knows it. You could sit there and say anyone could see the problems that we've got within our football club, but he's identifying the times that we need to work on. The fact that we're having to rely on Souček to recommend players, it's good that he's coming forward and saying, "Oh, look, this player might fit what we do. This player might fit what we do." And we've got a fantastic right back through him doing that. And if Souček's got the same opinion on the striker, then go in.
The thing is, football players sometimes make the best scouts because they do understand the game. I'd rather rely on Souček fucking telling you who to buy than rely on one of the agents that's trying to pry the money out of our fucking pocket.
Yeah, I was just about to say exactly the same thing. Sometimes the football players are your best agents and your best scouts because they've played with them. They know them. Look, we've picked up Soufal for $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You look at Souček. Souček was only 15 million, something like that. So we've got them pair for 20 million quid. Yeah. It's ridiculous. So sometimes players are the best agents and scouts.
Yeah.
That's the good thing as well. When you look at them two players, they've got Champions League experience as well. They've played in the Champions League, and you're picking them up on cheap deals like that. And this is what I'm saying. It's good that you've got players. I'm with what you said, Nick. It is good that players do make the best scouts because they've played the game, they know their game, they understand the game. But it's worrying that we're having to rely on that to sign a player. Because we sign their 3 best players. What do we go to next? Do we have to wait until we sign another player from another team? And then he goes, "Oh yeah, Dave."
No, we'll wait for Sparta Prague to been through their youngsters in 5 years' time, and then we sign them.
But this is worry, and this is where we're at. This is the situation that they've allowed us to get in, that we're having to rely on that.
Let's take some more questions. You can pop in your questions. I'm going to start answering them. Question for you, Nicky. If by some miracle qualify for Champions League, how would the owners react to the situation, given that they never thought it would happen? They'd pretend that they did think it would happen.
Probably go and spend 60 million on Haller.
We told you we'd be in the Champions League. It's because of the stadium. The stadium got us here, and
we told you to keep the faith. It'd be probably the fucking. I'd say I wouldn't say the worst thing that's ever happened because we've been in the Champions League, but for them, it probably justify the means, which I think would be bad for the fan base.
Someone said to me to stop moaning because we're having the best season we've had in years, and I was like, wow, like. You know what? It's not the seasons. It's been a decent season. It's been enjoyable. But to say we should just be grateful to the board because we're having the best season we're having in years. Is that what 10th in the league? And we have to just shut up and be grateful.
To be fair, it's not 10th in the league though, is it? We're like 3 points, 4 points off of top 4.
Yeah, but so is every other fucker.
Yeah, but everyone's banging on about Chelsea. They're 9th on the same points as us. Mm-hmm. So it's a season. But I wouldn't say, I mean, points-wise and that, and the way we started and the teams we've played, it is a great start to the season. But, we should be aiming higher than that. This is our 10th consecutive season in the Premier League since we got promoted. And, it's need to...
It's nothing the board deserve praise for. Do you know what I mean? To say, the move's paid off. We're where we want to be. You know what I mean? It's not like that.
Total fluke because no cunts there.
But that's what I mean. It's like whether I don't want to take anything away from the manager or the players because we've done well, we've been doing good, but it's not so good that we have to be like just shut up and get behind the board.
We're doing well in spite of them, not because of them. That's what I would say.
Someone tweeted me the other day saying about David Moyes' brand of football, and I said to the geezer, and he ended up blocking me when I don't know why, because I just said to him, can you honestly tell me that in Pellegrini's second season you enjoyed it more than what you are now? And he blocked me for that. I thought, like, I'm having a conversation with you, yeah. You know what I mean? But like, it's because and I just thought to myself, like, when you go back to think of Pellegrini's last game at West Ham, Leicester at home, when we lost 2-0 to Leicester's C team. Would you honestly want to go back to that time and swap it for the team we've got now and the way we're playing now? Grind that result. I watched Toffee TV after the game, and I've never seen two better people in my life. They're banging on about, it's David Moyes, David Moyes. They were all up David Moyes' arse when he was at the club. Got them Champions League football. Got them FA Cup final.
When we signed David Moyes, they'd done a video saying how great he was and how good of a manager and we're lucky.
It weren't we went to Everton and we won 1-0 and we deserved it overall. It's because Everton didn't beat, because they see us as little West Ham, because Everton are this massive club. They're not. They're Liverpool's reserve team.
Yeah, but the thing is that like there's a lot of Everton fans who watch what we do, and I think we're on par, us and Everton club wise. We should.
Oh yeah, look, they've got a fancy manager, Angelotti. Look, great manager, shouldn't be at that club, too big for that club, and that's the truth. Angelotti's too big for Everton. They're moving to a big stadium near the docks. They'll find out how hard it is when you move into a bigger stadium. But I just don't like the bitterness with some Everton fans towards West Ham. It's like they're slagging off David Moyes, but yet they was all singing his name. He was there for 11 years. They're probably one of their most successful managers.
Yeah, he gave them some of the best years they've had in the Premier League. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, in the Premier League era, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I think what Ryan said on the Pellegrini, I want to talk about, because probably that last season, probably towards the end of the first season, I have to say, for someone who wanted to play attacking football, some of the football was so frustrating to watch because it was just pass the fucking ball. And it was just always side, back, side, like trying to pass it into the back of the net. And honestly, it was more boring than sometimes watching like Big Sam's side. And honestly, I would rather what we're playing now than the fucking pass it into the back of the net football.
Yeah, but the pass in football is that you're meant to move the ball quickly. The problem we moved the ball too slow. You meant to move the ball quickly to see which defenders are switching off, which players are not switched onto the movement of the opposition player, and then you go boom. You move the ball forward into. The problem with us, it was pass, take a touch, pass it back, take a touch, and that's why it was
no ideas at all. Yeah, there was no movement. The off the ball movement wasn't great because no one's trying to get in the positions.
When you look at teams like Barcelona or Man City, they're constantly moving the ball across the back line, across the midfield, because that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for an opposition player to switch off, to not be paying attention to where his marker's gone, and then that's it. They've got that quality to put that ball in. We were doing that without that quality to put the ball in.
Yeah. No, that's it.
Ryan backs our dream signing this window for each of you. If I could sign anyone, like, and I'll say realistic, he's not, I'm not going to go say Messi and all or whatever, but sort of a player from a similar club around us, it would be Danny Ings. It would be Danny Ings. It'd be Danny Ings all day long.
But
all day long.
There's zero chance.
Fucking class, mate. I honestly do. I think he's class. That's if we could pry him away from Southampton somehow, we never would. But if we could, it would be.
Yeah, he's got. The thing is, what worried me, because when we were talking about, before Southampton, but we linked with him, and like I said, I think he's class. If he didn't have that injury, I think he would still be at Liverpool now. But the injury concerned me because how we are with players that get injured. If you've got an bad injury record, it'll be worse than that.
If he was at West Ham, it'd be an head on a skateboard.
Yeah, exactly.
I was with you. There was no doubt in the guy's talent, but it was that because he'd done that ligament injury and spent that long time out, signing him would have been a massive gamble. But, I wish we gambled on it.
Yeah, and he wouldn't come to us from Southampton unless we doubled these wages or something, because they're doing well. If he's not like he's in a relegation battle, they're having a good season.
Doing well. They're similar to us, aren't they? Let's be honest. It's not.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's they're doing well, and so are we. It's not like. Do you know what I mean? It's not a huge step up. Like
you're getting a player because he wants the money more than you're getting a player because he wants to play football.
Yeah, which is what happened with like Arnautovic in a way, really, when he came to us from Stoke. You know, sometimes
in a way for the first season that works out well. So,
it does. But
dream
signing. Yeah, I'd like that Adam Armstrong from Blackburn. I think he's got a good all-round game to him from looking into him, and I think the goal scoring record in a team like Blackburn, like if he's not like you look at playing at a team like Brentford, who's at the top, who's challenging, like he's at a mid-table championship team, so it's not as if that he's got all of these great players around him to do all the work and he just sticks in the back of the net. I think the fact that he is near the top goal scoring record for being at a team who's not challenging for promotion, I think, and he is really impressive. So that's someone who I'd like, and he's 23 years old. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you, but with Danny Ings. But probably if we need a goal scorer right now, I'll take Jamie Vardy. I know we ain't going to get him. It's just like this is a dream signing, but I'd love a Jamie Vardy, and
we could have had him for £1 million.
Yeah, I know someone that is just there and can find the back of the net. You know, like what Tottenham have got with Kane and Son. You know, just a player that he's always there at the right time and he just scores goals. But yeah, listen, I'm not saying we are going to get Jamie Vardy or Jamie Vardy ever come to us, but the question was, would our dream signing be realistically? But
yeah, if you're talking dream signing, there's you get silly. But Joe, the player that dream signing who could probably fit the bill, what we do is Lukaku. In the way you play the big strong centre forward.
He'd still find a way to score against us.
He's 40 goals or 50 goals for Inter Milan.
Yeah. That's what I mean. He's left United, gone there, and he's done wonders.
He had a terrible time at United, but he's always been a quality striker. I don't care.
Yeah, but he still scores goals.
Talking about he got a great touch, Nick. If you like a good touch, he's not the one you want.
No, it's not.
He makes up for it. He makes up for it with his pace and finishing.
That's what I mean. For players who, in the system that we play, he is your perfect striker to fit the system that we play. Big, strong, quick. Can bring other players into play.
Jamie Capslow said, "What do you think of West Ham Central?"
You know what? Like I had a few big rows with him recently, and he was DMing me, and he was like, because it'd be back and forth, and I think I give quite well. It was sort of he DM'd me and was like, "Oh, why'd you say that?" It was back and forth, and in the end, we made peace. I tried to make peace with him a few times, and it didn't work out. Anyway, we made peace. I just don't agree with a lot of the things he tweets. I think he latches on to players that he don't like. He hates like whether it's Creswell, whether it's flipping, Haller, or whether it was Hernandez or something like that. He'd be like, this is the player, and I'm deciding to hate this player, and nothing's going to change my mind, and I'm going to convince everyone else to hate this player. And it's like, that's counterproductive. You're putting out propaganda against our own players.
You backed yourself up with I mean, they've been having a big spat, haven't they? Transfers and Central, and like. You say that, but transfers was the complete opposite. You know what I mean? Like he's talking about Haller and everyone else is wrong. But bullshit. It's the same fucking bollocks. No, but I don't mind him. He's a kid. He says some things that fucking wind people up at times.
He acts like he's a kid. He's
but I'll tell you what. That's fake. Well, that's a kid to me. You know what I mean? I'm a fucking old man.
But he would. He'd be going to me like, "You're 30 years old." It's like, "Boy, how old are you then?" He's like, "You're grown up." I said, "You're fucking 24. You're supposed to be an adult. So how does that make you different to me?"
But what I will say is, when you look at people like Morton Cole, who are saying to him, "You're the worst account on Twitter," and like your tweets are embarrassing, when that geezer's fucking tweeted pictures, Photoshop pictures of David Gold having paedophilic sex with Madeleine McCann and kids getting waterboarded, I think I'd have a look at myself before I started saying things like that, to be honest with you. But anyway. That's by the by.
He asked you wait a minute. He's asked you what you think of West Ham Central. You've gone on about West Ham transfers and fake Colton Cole and said absolutely nothing about. All right, fair enough. Scott and Ryan.
I've never had a run-in with him. I don't know. I don't really take no notice of him. I've seen news have run-ins with him, but that just keeps me entertained.
I've made peace with him. I try and not. You froze, Scott. You froze, mate.
No, I said I'm the same as Ryan. I just sit back and watch you two get involved.
You're not on the Twitters much. You don't really get involved. You sort of come on and retweet a couple things and dip out.
That's it.
I mean, going completely off the topic, the other thing that we've put in is the FA Cup this weekend. One major, obviously, you've seen it all yourselves with the COVID and teams having to play weakened teams. And looking at it now, do you think maybe they should have scrapped the FA Cup for this season?
Yeah, I do.
Because, I mean, they were talking about it on the radio earlier, and I do understand. I think it's wrong that there's some teams out there that have got to play under 18s and under 23s, and there's clubs like Shrewsbury and that haven't even got academies, so they can't play it. So should Southampton get a bye and things like that? And I just think that maybe for this season they should have just scrapped the FA Cup for 1 year. I mean, is it Marine are playing Tottenham on Monday or Sunday, wherever it is, and they can't even train because they've got nowhere to train at the moment, and they've got the biggest game of their life. It's the romance of the FA Cup still gets me because I think West Ham away on a Monday night to Stockport, it's perfect. It's got all the cool, there could be an upset there. Let's be honest. Yeah. We've seen it throughout the years supporting West Ham. That's the romance of the FA Cup. Marine versus Tottenham, massive. But I just don't know. I just think it's a bit. This season, I'm a big fan of Sean Dyche. I've always thought that he speaks well, but what he come out with today was the biggest load of bollocks I've ever seen in my life. Saying about football players should have priority for the vaccine and things like that. Just like I see an Olympian yesterday saying that.
Never said that.
He did. Google it. Team GB. They should be given priority for vaccines and things like that. It's just totally ridiculous.
So not the NHS staff or anyone like that.
Not the people who could die from it.
Not the vulnerable, not the elderly. I understand what Sean Dyche was saying in a way, but when he come out with that comment, I just thought to myself, mate, there's more things more important than fucking footballers. Football players live on a fucking different world.
Mate. This is the thing, right? At the end of the day, you've got the NHS staff, you've got the old bill, you've got the fire brigade, you've got the army. These are all people that should be getting that vaccine before anyone else, because when things go to crap, they're the ones that you're sitting there and you have to rely on. So
and the sick and elderly, of course.
Then the elderly and the vulnerable. Football players, they're fit, healthy men. They should be the last on the list.
People saying he didn't say that in those words. I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to sit here and say word for word what he said, but people knew what he meant, so they know what I'm saying.
Talking crap.
I think on.
No, I was going to say, going back to the FA Cup thing, right? It's the thing that the biggest joke about it is the fact that Spurs are in the League Cup final through getting a bye through the second or third round because Leyton Orient had COVID. And they forced Leyton Orient to chuck the game. It's ridiculous. You either you can't have one rule there and then different rules further on. I don't think we should have scrapped the FA Cup, if I'm honest, because in my opinion, we've got a good chance of going far in that competition now. But they should have helped the teams out.
Right. Just for the people that are saying, this is it. Look, Premier League manager Sean Dyche says football players should be fast-tracked for vaccines. So I'm only going on what I've read and what I've seen on the telly.
Has he got a quote? Has he got an actual quote?
I'm not gonna go word for word. If you want me to sit here and go word for word, I'll read out the whole fucking script if you want. But I'm just going on. I'm going on what I've heard.
Has it not got that quote for that bit? Like, are they not got the?
But the thing is, someone's just put a comment there. Dyche is saying the money that could be wasted on testing players 2 times a week could be spent on the NHS. I agree with that, but it's down to the football clubs to pay for this anyway.
The Premier League manager believes vaccination is the way forward throughout football, so sport can remain competitive. And he's also put, I appreciate, this is his quotes, I appreciate some people will be surprised by that comment. Woo! Like I was when he said it. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone's like having a little dig in the comments saying, I'm only going by what I heard on the radio and what I've seen on Sky Sports News and what I've just read there. So if there's 3 things telling me wrong, but people in the comments are right, I apologise.
He said, let me make it clear. There are people way in front of footballers. I'm not remotely suggesting that it'd be put in front of welfare and the vulnerable. What I'm saying is there a timeline where they can fast track to that period? logically it would be better putting funding that is put into testing that system. That's a bit. What is he saying?
We're not paying for the testing. They're paying for the testing themselves.
Yeah, what he's trying to say is instead of the clubs are having to pay to have the players tested twice a week, wouldn't it be more sense that the clubs the vaccine?
No, bollocks, because the vaccine is there's only so many vaccines. Fuck them. They should be last.
That's
absolutely fucking last, because while everyone else is sitting indoors, they're running around giving each other cuddles.
Yeah.
Fuck them, they should be last to be vaccinated. I don't care how much fucking money they've got. Just because they got the money doesn't mean they should be the fucking first to be vaccinated. Fuck them.
These football players, they're going out and they're fucking mixing with, like Lanzini's one. He's a prick and all for what he done on Christmas Day. He can apologise as much as he wants. I didn't do my family Christmas, but he can go and mix with all different families and then thinks he can apologise on Twitter and everyone's up his arse all right with it. Fuck him. Fuck all these football players.
The thing that Lanzini's the only thing he's done good out of all this, right? He's admitted what he done wrong. He's come out.
It should be bad for the
season. Nick, I want to talk to you about this. What about Declan Rice? Why has no one said anything about Declan Rice, though?
What do you mean, Declan Rice?
What about Declan Rice?
Declan Rice, he went to the boxing and had his arm around Anthony Joshua and Mayweather. I didn't see any slate.
And that was in a different tier.
But that,
he still broke the rule. He still broke. He went to social distancing and masks.
Well, wait a minute. He'd been tested that morning, and Anthony Joshua had been tested that morning as well.
All right, what about Mayweather?
Well, he might have been tested. I don't know. He might have been tested as well.
He's indoors, no mask and no distancing. And he had another picture with his brothers. You know, unless he lives with them, and that's what I can't say for sure. He might live with them, but.
Dan, Rice was silly for doing that, right? Because at the end of the day, all these football players should be in this bubble so that they're not mixing with other people. Rice was stupid for doing that.
He went and had a kickabout with Mason Mount during the first lockdown.
Yeah, that's it. During the first lockdown, he was wrong for doing that. But
no one wants him banned.
He didn't do that. He didn't put his arm around AJ, have a picture of AJ and Mayweather during the lockdown. Lanzini has gone out when Ryan couldn't go and see his family. I couldn't go and see my family. You couldn't go and see it. You were lucky enough that you were at your mum's when a lockdown.
Rice had a kickabout with Mason Mount during the first lockdown.
Yeah, but that was totally different times. That was totally different times.
It was still a lockdown. They still weren't allowed to do it.
And he was flagged off.
No one was asking for him to be banned.
I'm not asking for Lanzini to be banned.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying that's what Nicky said. Nicky's asking.
No, do you know what? Right? Do you know what? No. Hold on. 1 minute. Right? I'll tell you why I'm asking for him to be banned. Right? First lockdown, Mason Mount, they was all at it, right? Including Carl Walker, including fucking the Pratt at Aston Villa and all of that sort of thing, right? Now we've lived with this for almost fucking a year. Yeah, we've lived this for almost a year now. Everyone's been doing their bit. We've been in out. We've been like the fucking okey cokey. We've been in and out more times than the fucking okey cokey, right? Now, 10 months down the line, all of a sudden, Christmas time, he just thinks, bollocks to it. And don't get me wrong, they're all fucking at it. All of them. There's a lot of them at it. They just ain't been fucking caught. That ain't been grasped up yet. Right? So, anyone that gets caught now, anyone that gets caught, and that includes Lanzini, ban them for the season, and they won't do it again.
The thing is, there was people that probably went and see their family, but they didn't go and post all the pictures on social media and fucking pose for it. And I know that he's come out and he's apologised, and all right, fair enough. But he knew what he was doing. He's not stupid. The club would have told him.
Yeah. He's as I said, he's one of the only ones I've seen who's come out and apologised, and he has. I'm not saying justifying it or anything like that. You know, he was bang out of order, and I do think he should be reprimanded a lot more. But the club has said they've dealt with it. But he's gone out and donated. He's gone out and donated to.
The problem is they can't punish. They can't punish him.
No, but they can because he's broke the code of conduct that they've got in place for COVID. This is the thing. And
let's be fair. He's broke the law.
Oh, yeah, massively. He's broke the law. But what's the
law?
A 10 grand fine? What's 10 grand to a Premier League football player?
Yeah, nothing.
Exactly. So hit him where it hurts and ban him.
Yeah. But let me just say this. Let me say this, Scott. I'm not sticking up for him, Nick. I'm not saying he was right to do it. What I'm saying is the way our fans act, they're saying, fuck Lanzini, ban him, blah, 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 blah. we're not saying that about Declan Rice. Why can't we be consistent with our players? And just because Lanzini's been a fringe player this season and hasn't really contributed much, obviously apart from that worldy goal, people are quick to say ban it. No one wants to see Declan Rice banned.
I think it comes down for the moment. Declan Rice should be in the same punishment for me. If Declan Rice done it tomorrow, I'd say the same thing. The thing is with Lanzini is that he's doing it on Christmas Day when millions of families can't see each other, and he's sort of rubbing it in, putting it on his Instagram. And I think what's even worse, he's posing with Tottenham players, and that's even worse than breaking the COVID laws. He shouldn't be mixing with Spurs players in the first place.
The thing is, that's what it boils down to. It's like when you look at what's going on in this country at the minute. This second wave has hit everybody bad. I know so many people now that have gone. I'm the only guy, one of the only guys still left in work because we've got so many people. One of the supervisors has got it. Everyone else has to self-isolate.
Oh, I am legend. Fucking hell.
I was lucky. No, I was lucky enough not to be in at the time when he was in and things like that. But it's affected everyone. My sister-in-law, my niece and nephew have all got this one. My sister-in-law's been ill in bed for the past week with it because he's hit her that bad. And there's people like Lanzini and there's these Z-list celebrities off of Poxy Towie and all that who are flaunting it abroad and putting it on Instagram. And people are getting a bit of backlash and fucking good. At the end of the day, don't sit there and flaunt because you've got a bit of money. You can go and spend 2 weeks in Dubai, a bit like what Karen Brady's doing at the moment, out there flaunting it, living it large, while we're all stuck indoors, shoving it over all their Instagram.
As long as she stays there, she can fucking do what she likes.
That's the thing. All these people should be fucking done for it. It's ridiculous.
They live in a different world. They think they're above the same rules that apply to regular people.
Of course they do, and that's the thing. And I don't think Lanzini should be banned. As I said, he's come out, he's donated money to the food banks, which is good. He should have been docked wages because you don't earn
wages. What's that going to do? He's a millionaire. A million times over.
But that's how you don't hurt a football player who's on 50, 60, 70 grand a week by saying you can't play football because he still gets 50, 60, 70 grand a week.
Well, why don't we say you can't play football and you get docked your wages until you do play football again?
Are they going to do that though? They've got a contract. Is that? I mean, you'd have to look at what's in the contract.
They can fine them. They can keep
just give him 50 lashings. That's all he did.
That's what I would say.
It's very difficult.
It took me nearly 3 months to fully recover from COVID, and I'm considered a healthy 28-year-old. 2 Newcastle players are suffering from long COVID. Somebody donated. Andrew McDonald donated $25. Thank you very much. I would have hoped you would have wanted to say something for that. Declan Rice does live with his brothers, says Andy Miles.
I thought he did. Yeah, I thought he did.
Yeah, when you have COVID waves and a guy without a shirt dressed like a Viking in a Capitol building. Oh, fuck. I don't even get me started on what's going on over there. That's mental.
Jeez.
Anyway, the FA Cup's back this weekend and we play Stockport. So what's your thoughts on the game? You looking forward to it Monday night?
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to other players who don't normally get a chance, maybe to get a chance and try and mix in some regulars. I think a few players do need a bit of a rest. The likes of Rice and Souček, one of them, I think, does deserve a bit of a rest, and a few players there. And I'd
like to see Ben Rama try to get 90 minutes under his belt. Do you know what? It might even be interesting to see. I wouldn't risk Antonio. I won't risk him. I probably have him on the bench just in case, but I won't play him. I'd like to see a few fringe players.
Yeah, I think you'll see. Obviously, I'll do the preview tomorrow for that, but I think you'll see a lot what we saw in the 2 League Cup games. Players like Ashby,
Coventry.
Yeah, who's the centre half? Elise.
Yeah, Elise is Elise, isn't it?
Yeah,
Elise.
And probably I said if he is, maybe see Odebeku.
Yeah, I think that's
give him a chance. But I don't think throw them all in together. Do you know what I mean? Sort of.
No, you need a bit of experience.
I fully expect Noble to start against Stockport in the midfield.
Yeah,
Yarmolenko. I feel like to see Yarmolenko.
Randolph will get another run out, won't he?
Frederick.
You may see Yarmolenko up front, to be honest. If we're not going to risk Antonio and you don't want to start the youngster, we may see Yarmolenko play.
I do love Yarmolenko, but when I watch him play, he looks like he don't know what he's fucking doing. He looks like he looks like he's just happy to be on the pitch at sometimes.
He
never looks fit.
Yeah. He looks like someone in the crowd's just been given a game and he's just running around smiling. But he's a good player. But I'd like to see obviously Diop get a run out.
Apparently a lot of the young players that we mentioned, Ashby, Coventry, and Elise are all injured at the minute.
Oh well, that sums up West Ham, doesn't it? But one thing we are
injured though, is he?
Sorry? No, he's back. I think he's back from injury now.
Yeah,
I would give him a go.
Yeah, I don't know whether to start him because I've not seen him a lot for the youngsters. I've seen him a couple of times, and I don't know whether he plays how they set up. If you know what I mean.
No, listen, it's the only fault we got, mate. I remember young Jermaine Defoe scoring his first goals in cup games many moons ago.
We need to remember throwing these under 23s in for this sort of game. I know it's FA Cup and it's a bit more pressure on it because the big team, the smaller teams want to get the giant killing. But we need to remember these our under 23s have played a lot of sides like Stockport and teams like that in obviously the the Papa John's Trophy.
Yeah.
Could we see? Sorry, mate. Diop up front.
No.
I'd love to see it.
Diop centre half.
Put Diop in goal if you want, but I was speaking to someone the other day and we were talking about the FA Cup and this season they're putting new patches on the kit and West Ham will have a number 3 on their ones, obviously to represent the 3 times that we've won the FA Cup. So that's going to be interesting. I think we're wearing the black kit on Monday night. So there's new FA Cup patches this season and every club that have won the FA Cup and how many times they are going to have it on their arm. So hopefully we can add another one to that this season. Hopefully we can make it number 4. It's been a long time for this football club not to win a major trophy.
This is the thing, mate. With the way this season's panning out, this is what I've said. We're in a good position in the league. I don't touch wood. It don't come back on me. I don't think we're going to be in the dogfight come the end of the season. So go for it. Give it a go. You know, this is one of them seasons where
games like Monday night. Really we should be comfortable. But FA Cup, you're not comfortable. You're playing against players that this is the biggest game of their life.
Yeah.
You know, playing a Premier League team. You know, Stockport are not even in the league, are they?
No.
So it's a massive night for them. And this is where you pick up injuries because some of these players want to prove a point and they stick a tackle in. People like Ben Rama, you know, they're going to look to kick all over the place if they can get near him. So it's always one of them games that I hate. You know, it's always good to get a draw like this in the FA Cup because we should get through and we should progress to round 4. But sometimes you play these games and you pick up so many injuries and there's always that doubt in the back of your head.
Adam Levitt says, my mate passed away a few days ago. He was a big West Ham fan. He lived in County Town. His name was John Boy. Sorry to hear that, Adam. Thoughts go out to him and his family.
Yeah, mate.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck sort of questions is? Would you guys take FA Cup and 5th in the Premier League?
No.
I think I'd wank someone off for that.
I'll take the FA Cup and 19th in the Premier League.
Do you know what I mean? Honestly, I think I'd suck dick for the fucking FA Cup and 5th in the Premier League.
I'll probably go at it as well.
Yeah, my sloppy one, mate.
Yeah, it's got to be the FA Cup all day long. I've said this many a times.
Did he mean or 5th? Did he mean or 5th?
Well, he said and.
He says and. If you mean 4th or 5th, I'll take the FA Cup,
mate.
Yeah. I'll take the FA Cup and relegation if I'm honest.
This is the thing, isn't it? The FA Cup is a realistic trophy that we can win.
Would you take it, right? Would you take an FA Cup and relegation this season, knowing that we can't be there to witness it? We have to watch it on the telly.
Yeah. Let's be honest, Dan. I think Kent Hammers said it. Kent Hammers said it in the chat. It's the West Ham way. West Ham will get to the cup final, win a cup final the year that we can't go and watch it.
Fuck it. We'll all go to the final and we'll just blame Lanzini. We'll say he told us to go. Ban him after the final.
But
I think that's the harsh thing. It's getting relegated.
They've moved the League Cup final, haven't they?
Yeah, to April.
In the hope
that's good though. I'd rather Spurs play it in April because I think if they'd have played it next month, they'd probably have more chance of beating City. But come April, they'll be fucking knackered and tired and moaning and they fucked everything up. Mourinho out. Good. I hope City give them a right good hiding in that final. Like a proper good idea. You know, like when they beat Watford 6-0 the other year in the FA Cup final. I really don't want them to win that League Cup. But all of a sudden, have you noticed how big the League Cup is? It's like the Champions League final now. Oh, yeah, the League Cup. But when we knocked them out the League Cup the other year, it's a Mickey Mouse Cup. Mickey Mouse. Oh, you lot should be in Disney because it's a Mickey Mouse Cup. Fuck off. Look at them now. They'll be parading if they win that. Come on, City.
And the thing that worries me is that Mourinho knows how important that trophy can be. You know,
that's what worries me though, because he's won it 5 times and he knows that win that trophy. But then City have won it like last fucking 15 seasons in a row, you know, like that.
David Trevor says, Nick, you should do this show on your own. You're the only one that says it how it is. I think he's talking about when I said I'd suck a dick for 5th in the Premier League.
Yeah, that's if you want. Oh, David, if you like that sort of thing, mate, we can join the Patreon. Nicky does it every Wednesday night.
Yeah, I've got an OnlyFans coming.
He'll give you a deep description.
This has got to be the first Friday night pint where we spent an hour and 35 minutes just talking about West Ham.
I can't believe how much Graham said, and he's not even here.
He said more than he normally does.
It makes a nice change from like what's it or quavers, you know.
How come Nicky's always changing positions, rooms outside, inside? Has he got half a dozen houses already on the run? No, it's only one house, mate. I'll just move around the room.
He's just like Del Boy. He has different furniture
every episode.
That's
show off his race car collection.
That's where the missus lets him film. That's what it is. Let's be honest. It's whether he's in the doghouse or not. When he's in the doghouse, he has to sit outside.
No, do you know what? I used to like going outside, but I've got rid of the table now, so I ain't got all of the stuff out there. I set up a little bench outside.
Do you know what? I was watching an old video. Was it yesterday? I think it was. It was an old Friday night pint. It was like back in the summer, and I was watching it, and there was one bit. It wasn't even funny, but it probably made me laugh. You're sitting there in a blanket. And I think Scott and Graham were talking. And all of a sudden, you just lit up a smell. You just started smoking. And I think it's bad because you don't really see fucking like you smoke anymore that much. And like, it just made me fucking laugh. That's how boring my life is at the moment. Get through old fucking videos.
Oh, I tell you, by the time it comes to next summer, man, I might not be. I'm losing weight like a mother. I can't keep it on now. I'm getting a bit worried in case I starve to death.
What are you fucking moaning for? You wanted to lose weight, now you're losing weight, and you're moaning that you're not putting it on.
No, I don't want to put weight on. I'm just saying, like, I'm losing it like I've lost a lot of weight over the last few days. And I'm getting a bit worried that it's going to carry on coming up, and then soon just going to be a pair of eyeballs and teeth.
Don't worry, when you get proper like lose weight, we'll look after you. We'll look after you.
Yeah, you've got to find once you get down to what your natural weight should be, you'll be all right, mate. You'll be fine. You'll start filling out. That's it, and your body's going through the trauma of losing the weight that you're losing, and then you'll get to a point, and then you'll bulk up again. Especially
I'm going through the trauma of losing the weight I'm losing when I see the pizzas and I can't have a bit of them.
When we're all out eating and Nicky's looking like all jealous, and I'll slip him a little slice of pizza under the table, and he smiles at me.
Do you know how much you lost, like numbers wise?
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to tell us that.
You didn't ask. You just said, "Do you know how much you've lost?" Yeah, I do.
Yeah, how much?
A lot.
What? Well, see, you don't want to tell us then.
No, I don't think it's anyone's business, to be honest. But,
well, it's not, but we're asking you. Just if you want to tell us, you can tell us. It's up to
you. Oh, fucking hell.
What?
Philip said that you look like a skeleton with pink on.
Oh, my God. Fuck it. The image, I got the image in my mind, honestly. Oh.
Oh, fucking hell.
I think I've literally just pissed myself. I'm just picturing a skeleton with me.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
Fuck. Oh. Darren says Ryan and Scott remember the away game to Swansea a couple of years ago. Oh, yeah, that's when we fucking got hammered 4-1 when it and IU looked like Messi that day. me and Scott were right freezing our nuts off. Oh, you know, man.
Oh, fuck.
Whose birthday was it that we were going to say shout out happy birthday?
Oh, fuck. It was someone's 18th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Oh, fuck.
All right, let me just.
You can imagine
Oh, fucking hell. So I've got to stop. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh.
Oh.
How about Dan's asked this a few times. I want to answer poor Dan's question. He's asked it about. Look, I put it up on the screen and he's still asking it. He's been asking it loads of times. I put it on screen and he typed it again. He's dying to know how about Doniel Malen from for Haller replacement. I think he's like a Dutch league player or so. I don't really know anything about him, to be honest.
I'm scared to read names out now just in case they fucking mean something after Nicky's got done by I swallow cum. Carino 1971 just had to Google bingo wings.
I don't know enough about the player.
Yeah, someone just says here Philip gets a golden buzzer. Yeah, he's through to boot camp.
Yeah, do you know what? There's probably a load of foreign fans that are like, "What the fuck are they doing? What's bingo wings like?"
They probably think that it's like that. You just fly, you go, 88, two fat ladies, bingo.
Oh.
That must be, it's like you just get that image, that typical woman who goes to the bingo and she's doing her dabber and she's got the bingo.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, fucking hell.
Anybody be watching Cobra Kai?
Nicky's been banging on at me for about 2 years to watch this. He even rang me up the other day when you see season 3 yet. I was like, no, it's on my to-do list, mate. I'm going to watch it.
I need to watch.
It's on my to-do list. At the moment, I've watched The Fall. Have you seen that one? That's quite good.
The Fall.
Narcos, yeah. And I've just started House of Cards.
House of Cards is good, but obviously Kevin Spacey in real life goes and gets done, doesn't he? So they have to write him out in the show. Yeah. So I stopped watching it when he went out of it.
What did it done for? Molestation or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he had improper relations with someone who was working for him or something like that.
No, it was an actor. It was another actor came out.
Young actor, weren't it?
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is, but it was years and years ago. But yeah, and he was so good in that as well. He was brilliant in that.
I will watch Cobra Kai, but I think because my missus ain't seen the Karate, so I think you ain't got to watch all the Karate Kids. I think if you watch Karate Kid 1, you sort of know Cobra Kai when you're.
I think if you get to series 3, I think there's going to be some Karate Kid 2.
I'm going to watch 1 and 3. Then
see all 3 of them.
I don't really like the second Karate Kid. I'm going to watch 1 and 3, and then I'll just make it up. When she says what's happening, I'll just make it up. I say, "Oh, that's Miyagi's mate."
Number 3, but for the first series, at least, I think you only need to watch Karate Kid 1 for at least the.
First series Karate Kid 1. The rest you need to know the whole.
I tell you what, I watched during the Christmas break. Like, obviously we can't go out, so we were sitting indoors. And my daughter, we watched Back to the Future 1, and afterwards they put 2 on. I thought, well, we'll watch 2. We sat there and watched all 3 films back to back. You know what? I was like a proud father. She loved them, and now I can pass that on. Funny enough, I was watching Back to the Future before I started this. Never get bored of them films.
Yeah,
never get bored of them. They're the great. I think they're the greatest trilogy of films, well written of all time.
I think it got voted as the perfect movie.
It's the way they all 3 films link up. And you know, 2 and 3 was meant to be released at the same time as the same film, because it was too long. They split it into 2 films.
Yeah,
makes sense.
I did know that actually.
But yeah, they're great for the way they all link up, and every film is the same, but in a different, obviously, era. Like, one was in the future, one was in the past, and one was in fucking whenever. But The olden days.
In the cowboy days.
Western.
Yeah, so no, I enjoy them. I think I've got the Blu-ray box set up there somewhere. So,
I do a bit of Back to the Future, but Cobra Kai, man, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it because I love the Karate Kid. You know, it was.
Yeah, do you know what I like? To speak on it, they took someone who was a villain from the first film and have made him like the character that you root for. And you know what I mean? Like you just get behind. They've spun it on its head and they've done it really well. And I think the tone is good. And it still feels like it's from the 80s. Do you know what I mean? The tone of it. It's got that feeling of like you're watching something from the 80s. So.
I said I will sit there and watch that.
Is he dressed up like a shower curtain in it?
No, not in that.
To be fair, you get all of that. You get sort of all of the throwbacks of that sort of thing, and they reference.
Is Elizabeth Shue in it?
Yes.
Oh,
spoiler. And even fucking what's his name from Karate Kid 2? The baddie, the fucking drum man. He comes back.
Oh, you ruined it now.
Spoiler alert, Nick.
Yeah, you've ruined it.
I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm going to finish. I've got 2 more seasons of The Fall and then Narcos to do, and I'll watch Cobra Kai.
You know what? I remember I had to watch it on. Nicky went and got YouTube Red on our West Ham Fan TV account. YouTube Red is it called, or YouTube Premium, whatever the fuck. We had a trial or something. I remember watching the first series on that. And then the second series came out, and you get the first one for free. But Nicky had cancelled the YouTube Premium on the West Ham Fan TV thing, and I didn't watch the rest of it until yeah, it must have been. It's then they put it on Netflix.
Nicky lost his card.
Yeah, Nicky, no payment.
Do you know what? You say that, I don't even know where my card is now.
Well, that ain't a fucking surprise, is it? Nothing changes with Nicky. Fucking, he's had 50 season tickets in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Bingo shops.
Hey, you didn't read the guy's super chat, Nick.
Sorry, I'll read it. On a scale of 1, heartbroken, how devastated are you boys that the club have lost a class act and a true gent in Snoddy?
I'd say solid 8. I'd say.
To be honest, football-wise, it was time for him to move. But yeah, it's always tough to lose.
As a footballer, probably about a 6 or 7. But as a person, a 10. I think he was so good around the club. And as I said earlier in the show, I never heard a bad word against him. Even rival fans and clubs that he's left. Even when we played Leeds at Ellen Road, he remembered a steward or a security guard from back when he played, and he gave him his shirt from the game and signed it. And that's just the sort of person he is. I'm surprised that Leeds didn't actually go in for him. I know that there was other clubs linked with him. I don't know if Leeds were one of them, but my
Leeds fan loves him. He said he'd have him back.
Yeah, he was every club he's been at. Aston Villa, Leeds, Hull when he was there. Norwich, yeah.
Yeah, he's just a big.
And Scotland as well. He's liked everywhere. I don't think you can hate someone
for us, isn't he, as well? Some really good goals.
I'll tell you what, though, if he bangs in a last minute winner against us in the other next week or whenever it is, or you can fuck right off. No, I ain't joking.
I love him, but he has got a nugget and a half.
Oh, he's got a bomb, mate. He's got a rocket. You won't want an headbutt off of him, but no,
he's go kiss up him, mate.
Yeah, he's just an all round nice bloke.
Yeah, I'd love to see him come back to the club one day in a coaching capacity. I'd love to see him back.
Saying about that, apparently Noble's been offered a 1-year deal with coaching involved.
Well, he's been doing coaching anyway, and he's been coming in early and coaching the youngsters. So look, Mark Noble will always be part of that club. He'll be behind.
He has to end his career at West Ham.
Yeah, he will. Do you know what? I've seen some people on. I mean, West Ham put out their tweet the other day about Mark Noble, one club man. And I see people going, "Oh, but he played for Hull and Ipswich." Like, he was a kid and he went on loan.
Yeah,
cutting his teeth. That's
what he went on loan.
What player hasn't been on loan?
Exactly. He went and played for Hull and Ipswich, but you always get these people.
West Ham player.
You know,
that's exactly it. He's still at his parent club. He hasn't left the club to go and play for another club. He's gone on loan.
And the thing is, there's four of us sitting here, and he's lived all our dreams. You know, he's played for the club that he's loved as a kid. You know, he's captained the club, and he'll finish his career at the club. And I hope he does get involved with the coaching staff, because I think people like James Collins and that have come out and said that they definitely see Mark Noble as a future West Ham manager.
Oh, honestly, I would love that. I'd love to see that. If he can't hold the FA Cup up as a captain, I'd love to see him hold it up as a manager for us. That'd be beautiful.
Right, this one for you, mate, because I reckon you might have answered this.
I don't remember the 20 Tyson Fury versus 21 football chronicles. Oh yeah. I would do that. Yeah,
I do remember that one.
Yeah, I think I think we all went. I think some of us went for Fury, and some of us went for McGregor's, didn't they?
Didn't I say? Wasn't the hashtag Gremlins? I remember saying something about it being like Gremlins. I'm sure it was me. Something about.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of like the cage fighting and all that. It's never really interested me, but I do like Conor McGregor. And the other day I was watching a video on YouTube. It was like Conor McGregor's best bits, but like in his press conferences. And I'll tell you what, I'd rather watch his press conferences than his fights. The geezer's fucking hilarious. I remember the build up to the Mayweather fight when he was calling him Peanut Head and things like that. He's just entertainment, so it's worth watching it for that.
Yeah. So no, it's at first I didn't remember. Now I remember that comment. But
Gareth says we have the most spiteful fans. I've left groups because people are threatening each other. I'm sick of it. Yeah, I sort of agree with that. We do have. I'm not saying like the most spiteful fans or anything else, but there are a lot of people that want to fight people over their opinion, which I think is wrong.
Yeah, the social media gangsters, as I call them. You know, the people that want to fight you over Twitter, but you see them at the ground, they turn a blind eye and walk away. You get that. People, you can't have an opinion anymore. Like, no opinion is right and no opinion is wrong. It's your opinion. Exactly. You shouldn't get people threatening you. You know, Nicky sat here earlier and said about Haller. You know, just because I didn't agree with it, not like it makes him wrong. That's his opinion. Like, Nicky might not agree with things I say, and Nicky might not agree with what Scott and Dan say. But it's all part and parcel. But people get too personal on Twitter, and as I said, it's all keyboard gangsters. You know, everyone can be a gangster behind a keyboard.
I just find it a bit. I had a little bit of this a little while ago, and it got me a little bit down. Is the fact that, you know, people want to dig at you at times. And then I had it the other week, to be quite honest with you, when we was doing a watch along. You know, we had a guy come in. He's been in for the last couple of weeks, whether it be Friday night Pint or in the thingies, and he keeps on making like snidey little comments. And I made a joke, an offhand joke, and then all of a sudden he's screaming and shouting that I'm bang out of order, and you know, I've said things that, you know, that sort of cancel culture. I had one a little while ago with a guy that was threatening to get me cancelled because he started having an argument with me. I started having an argument with him back, and he didn't like it. I said a few things to him, and he said a few things to me that were offhand, and all of a sudden he's messaging every fucker trying to get me what they call cancelled. It's the worst culture at the minute. Like, you know, don't worry about what people are saying. As Ryan said, they're sort of social media gangsters. They want to fight everyone about their opinions on social media. And believe me, by someone that's you know, been threatened on social media, been told that. I mean, Ryan backed me up because he had the same thing. Everyone, you know, especially at certain times of this channel, everyone's coming over. Everyone's going to smash our faces in. People are going to throw me off the bridge. People are going to smash our equipment up. People are going to do this. And you look at these people when they walk past and they put their head down and put their hood up.
Yeah, sorry about that, mate. I shouldn't have said that to you.
No, it's true, though.
Yeah, it's true, mate. It's 100%. You know, we've been there before. People do threaten you over Twitter and social media. But as I said to you before, and it's what I've been doing a lot lately, I just block them. You know, get negative people off your timeline. It's such a there's so many people that I've blocked and muted and things like that. And my timeline now is just full of just West Ham news and things like that. And I see people.
Like, at the end of the day, like I sort of promised myself this at the beginning of the year, that I just want to try and cut negativity out of my life. Like, and that's sad because I will fucking probably disappear if I did that. But I'm just saying, I haven't got no time for people that just want to bring you down and want to say negative things for the sake of saying negative things. I'm trying to change my outlook on life. I'm trying to change the way I conduct my life. I'm not. It's been such a negative. I've had it up to the eyeballs with just, and I don't mean like opinions on football or anything like that. I'm talking about people that want to have personal digs at you, want to have, want to try and bring you down to their level. I'm not interested in that anymore. Like, if anyone says anything I don't like, I'm just going to ignore them. And I think
I said that to you, Nicky, when you had that thing the other month with that bloke. I said, just block them. Don't even reply to them, because that hurts them more. That pisses them off more. You block them, you'll never see them again. If they make another account, you block them again. That's what the block button's there for. And that's the best thing, because, as I said to you, it's sometimes on this channel as well, you could get 100 comments on your channel, 99 good, 1 bad, but you always focus on the bad one. Yeah. And that's just life. That's what you do. Yeah. But if you don't and you focus, you think, right, 100 people, 99 people like me, but 1 don't. Fuck the 1 off. You got all the positives.
This is the thing. Like, Lee Farrell said, I wouldn't like to get a punch off you, Nicky. Lee, I'm not punching anyone, mate. Positive pats back. But I'm not punching anyone, mate. You know what I mean? Like, James H, you do know you have great support, so long as you know.
Nick, I'm going to get you a positive pat mask.
I want to. I'm going
to get you a positive pat. A what?
A happy dot.
Yeah, I'm going to get you a dot mask on the spot with Dot.
Yeah, Nick. See, look, turn the other bingo wing.
No, I just. It's just that I want to try. Like, I feel like when I look back at the last year or so, it sort of makes you sort of reflect on a few things and all of that. And
no, go on, finish what you're going to say, mate, and then I'll read this.
I think, we've got very little time on this planet, and I think just concentrating on people that want to bring you down to their level, I think you waste too much time.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I do. I'm starting to think that right now. Fuck them. If they want to, look, we're going back to the original comment, mate. If they're threatening each other, just leave the group. Fuck them. You don't want that. You don't need that in your life.
I've seen on Facebook someone on the OLES Facebook, who's one of the moderators. He's quit doing that because of the amount of abuse he was getting on there. And that's the thing, people. The problem is that the biggest problem that I have is social media is a horrible, vile place. And if it was wiped out off this planet tomorrow, it'd be a good thing. But obviously, we wouldn't be able to do this channel. And that's the problem. Far too many.
Yeah, social media isn't bad.
It is. It's
not bad. Social media is like a gun. It's what you make of it. It's what you use it for. It's the people that use it that make it bad.
Yeah, 90% of the time the gun's bad. So it's how you look at things. But
you're always going to get negatives and positives for social media. Social media is good in the way that you can sort of talk to people and connect with people that you haven't.
There's more negatives on social media than there is anything else.
Yeah, but that's down to the social media companies to sort that out. It doesn't take a lot. We don't know much about it, but if you sign up for social media, you should have to put details down so you get tracked. Anyone can get banned on Twitter, then 2 minutes later make a new account. It's not stupid. I know. There's hundreds of West Ham accounts that have got so many different accounts that pretend to be different people. It is what it is.
And that is a problem. Like you said, the companies have to take a lot, but it's the people. Too many people don't lead it. Have so nothing. Their lives are so bad that they get enjoyment.
Yeah, the thing is, though, the thing that keeps me going and makes me look forward to doing what we do on this channel, especially the Friday night pints, is things like every Friday I always get messages. Like my mate Taylor sent me a message before, a picture of his 2 beers saying getting ready for Friday night pint. Yeah. So many people on Twitter tweet me, and it just reminded me we got an email the other day, and I read this. It's quite long. I'll read it quick, but I don't know if you see the email. But it's emails like this that make it worth doing. It's from a bloke called Connor. He's put, "Good morning all. Just thought I would drop you guys a message to say how much I enjoy watching the stuff that you do. I've been following you for a few years now, but this past year especially, I have watched a lot due to lockdown. My personal favourite is the weekly Friday Night Pint show, which I said we should keep on a Friday. Just chucking that in now. And this was the main thing for me when he said this, despite being a Chelsea home and away season ticket holder. He said, I've always enjoyed listening to your views on West Ham. I always love the fact that you have a laugh and chat about other things too, and the laid-back atmosphere during the show. It really does give off the vibe of mates having a chat down the pub, which is absolutely great to see, even more so during these tough times. I'm COVID vulnerable list due to health conditions and have not been able to see my family apart from walks with his dad since March. And he said, just goes on to say, like, good luck for the rest of the season. But that's from a Chelsea season ticket holder, home and away, nothing to do with West Ham. But this is what I'm saying. This show brings in so many different people. And you can see that we can be serious. We can have a laugh. We can talk about West Ham. We can talk about mental health issues. We can talk about films. We can talk about anything. And this 4 different personalities, well, 5 with Graham. And obviously and Dan when he has Jason, there's all different personalities on this channel that we all get along. And it's nice to see. And when you get emails like that, and I did mark it, and it just reminded me when you was talking about it, that's what makes it worth doing. That's what makes it worth doing this channel and enjoying it. And it's just things like that. And I love Friday Night Pint, and I love the messages that we get on a Friday morning. The amount of messages I get saying, what time's Friday Night Pint tonight? Like, I'm like, come on, you know it's 7:30. But then again, they know Nicky's on, so it could be 7:45 with him. But it's true. And obviously, like, I like to hear your fault. I mean, I'll forward the email on. You can see it in the emails. But
I saw it earlier.
Yeah, when you things like that, it just makes you think that. And I know we do get other fans watch us from other clubs, and that's nice because they know that we do talk about other clubs. But it's mainly West Ham because we're West Ham fans, West Ham channel. But we'll talk about anything, and yeah, I just love doing it, and I'm glad people have enjoyed this show. And we're in a second lockdown now. Well, third lockdown, sorry. So yeah, you're stuck with us now until whenever.
March. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what that's what we've done this show for, because it brought us together, because we couldn't see each other, couldn't meet up, couldn't do what we normally do on a match day and things like that. And that's why we've got this show. And it is good. It is good seeing that we've been people's entertainment in a sense, and they've looked forward to seeing us sitting here chatting. I love doing Friday Night Pint. It's I try, unless I cannot be on. This is the one show I absolutely love doing.
I think since we've been doing it since March, I think I've missed 2 Friday Night Pints, and one of them was because I was away, and the other one was because I think I was away again. I think it was. So, but I've missed 2, and I love these. I look forward to it, even during the working week. And I think Friday I'll do the same routine now. Pop to the shop on the way home, get me beers, bung them in the fridge, come home, set the link up, send it all to you, and then we all log on, and then we just.
The thing is, I love it, and it's I've said this before. We've been doing it for almost a year now. We're coming up to a year in a couple of months when we first started doing this show, when the first lockdown come along, when the football got taken away from us, and our freedom's been taken away from us. But I cannot wait for the day when it's safe enough, because we're going to do a Friday Night Pint live, and then we're going to go to the game, then we're going to do a post-match Pint live, and you can all come and watch
when
it.
We go back to football, we'll fuck this show off. Load of shit.
That ties into the question.
All the people that have virtually contributed to the show can all come down. They can all come and grab a table. They can all come and grab a beer.
Yeah, not the super chats though. We ain't giving you your money back.
Nick, you like
that. We can all virtually, in real life rather than virtually, have a beer, have a chat, have a party. We'll do a Friday Night Pint live. Then when it goes off air, we'll have a fucking good piss up. We'll go to the game the next day, then we'll do it all again the next night, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a big weekend bender.
Lovely.
That's it. That's the thing. Is you think by the time all this is over, we would have seen each other in the flesh twice in the space of a year. And we practically spend, if not every weekend together, every other weekend together.
I've only seen Nicky once since March. I haven't seen you or Dan. I haven't seen Graham.
I've seen Dan twice, I think. Nicky once. I've seen Graham a few times.
Oh, fucking isn't that a surprise? It's probably in your cupboard now.
Yeah, it's been.
I just got to answer this question. I say no apologies needed, mate. It's all like I said, like we were saying, it's all Twitter opinions and things like that. There was I don't take things personally. I think it's good.
And the thing is, when it's like when we go back to the social media thing, I'm happy to have a debate and all that on Twitter with people. I'm happy, but it's when it gets personal and things like that. Like I just don't get all that. Like I've had rows with people on Twitter, and in the end, we end up saying, like, all right, I can't think of his name now. I think it was Canadian Hammer. It was when David Moyes first joined the club the second time, and we had a little thing on Twitter. But he had his fault, I had my fault, and he ended up by saying, "Oh, when I come over, I'll buy you a beer." And I said, "Yeah, definitely, mate. It'd be good to have a pint with you." And that's what I like about social media, things like that. You can have a disagreement, but it all ends in smiles and beers. Cheers and beers.
You've got some earlugs on you. Losing weight is not the one for you. Look, what? So I've got to stay fat. So my ear rolls look full.
Fucking hell.
It's a random one, right? Random question here. Look.
Right,
Before putting it in the pub casually, and then Graham stalls in, kicks Scott in the bollocks and throws his pint at him and runs out. How would you react?
I would fucking die of laugh.
I'll high five him.
I would piss myself, honestly. And then I'd think Scott right. But I would just be like, what?
To be fair, I'll probably catch the pint in Chrome.
I need to see that.
Donated $5. He said, please do a FIFA 21 career mode.
I ain't played FIFA since what was the last FIFA that I played?
Oh, do you know what? I've got all of the stuff up here. We've got because we got the new Xbox over Christmas. I'm going to have one up here. I wanted to do maybe start a Twitch stream with all old games. I wanted to do like old arcade games and stuff like that, and do that.
I ain't got a Scooby. What you're talking about there?
I wanted to start my own sort of channel where I play all like old arcade games and.
If you're playing old Mario in that, I'll join.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was gonna start all of that, but so if I get all the stuff up there, I have got the stuff somewhere, but like because we haven't used all the filming stuff for such a long time, I've sort of put it all away. But yeah, we could probably do that if I can work it out to do it. We'll do it. Fuck it.
Yeah. We've got old Roy May Jr. donated $5. Good old Roy. Cheers, mate. Best part of Friday Night Pints is it starts at 1:30 here, so I can knock off work, come in Friday afternoon today to drink with y'all. Come on, you irons from Texas.
I'm sure Roy was the one that said before we can come over to Texas when everything's back to normal, and he's going to pay for the flights and bring us up.
It'll be so hard for Nicky because like the food out there, he won't be able to eat it all. And
I still find that I even now 5 years doing this channel, I still find it mad that there's people around the world that watch this. Yeah. Like Roy's in Texas now watching this, and like I remember when we first started, and that bloke sent us that picture of him watching it in his house in Hollywood. Like I still find it mad now.
It's so funny when I read the comments out from Americans though as well, and I read out "y'all." It sounds so weird in an English accent. Y'all.
Here's one for you, Scott. Who would wear a dress the best? My money on Graham.
He has that dress in the background, doesn't he? When
I reckon Nicky could pull off a nice little cocktail frock off the shoulder.
Now he's done some weight. Yeah.
Are you trying to say that he couldn't wear a dress before?
Oh, well, are you saying only slim women can wear dresses, Scott? Are you actually being, what do they call it, sizist?
My wife isn't the slimmest, so, you know.
Oh!
Whoa.
Well, just stop right there. Mute yourself or something.
Let's move on. Adam.
That's it, mate. That'll make a nice comfy bed for tonight, I'm telling you.
I can't believe you just said that.
Adam's asking, am I going to do any of the live watch-alongs? Do you know what?
Right. If he watches it,
I like when I watch football. I like to just sit there and watch football. I tried doing the watch-alongs before, and where everyone's out of sync and people in the comments and ruin the surprises, I let Nicky and Dan get on with it, and they're better at doing it anyway. I'm too frustrated to do things like live watch-along. I'm happy to come on post-match pint after and do it. It's too out of sync for me. The other day I was celebrating a goal and Nicky was still sitting there, and Dan was trying not to celebrate, and he knew what was happening.
Do Do you think we could raise enough funds to buy Dembele if Graham wakes his eyebrows live on here? If Graham wakes his eyebrows and we sold it to a wig company, we'd probably buy Mbappe.
Fucking hell, man. We need to do a charity wax on them things.
Do you know what I've told you?
What about that time, Nick, when Graham leant in towards the camera and you said, "Fuck me, I thought I was in a car wash room." Oh, fucking hell.
All right, boys, we're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Because
I was going to go to the toilet, but with Philip's comment, I think I pissed myself twice already, so I think I've got it out. I'm sitting here in piss-stained shorts. Smell like roast beef Monster Munch.
Yeah. Oh, mate. But
let me explain. What I was trying to get at is I'm not a sizist. You know, at the end of the day, anyone can wear what they want.
Scott, the way you went about saying it, you get yourself in trouble big time. I'd rather just say I'm a sizist, mate. Bring that up.
Yeah, Scott, you ain't getting out of that one, mate. Whatever you're doing, I'm not even going to defend you.
Sorry, you ain't got it. She's asleep.
Pick it up and send it to her. Go on.
Right, people always clip me shit up, Scott.
Yeah, clip it out and then send it to look at Scott shitting himself. He's going to go upstairs and say sorry. And she don't even know what he said sorry for.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're still digging. Okay.
Yeah, that's a nice shovel you've got there, Scott. Someone's just said to me there about I should get a Barbara Windsor mask. So I was talking about it because she got buried today, and it's such a shame that she never got a big East End send off. Like, you know, it's so sad that she never. What a legend she is.
Well, we're just finishing it on this one because I've really got to go and get sent to eat. Kane Leg donate $2.99. Thank you very much. Margot Robbie or Megan Fox?
Margot Robbie.
Megan Fox.
Margot Robbie.
Wolf of Wall Street, Scott.
Thank you.
Not seen it.
Oh, mate, please. When you watch that film, you'll be kicking Megan Fox out. You'll be calling her a fat fucking bastard.
Whatever he said.
Thank you very much for watching this edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match part. We're going to go before we get ourselves in any more trouble. Thank you very much, as I said, for joining in with the comments tonight. It's been very enjoyable. 2 hours and 11 minutes of absolute joy. Thank you very much for supporting this channel because, you know, subscribing. If you're new around here, do hit the subscribe button. Follow us on social media and all that sort of stuff. There's a Patreon and a link in the description down below. And there is also T-shirts and stuff. Scott's modelling one right now. Scott, give us a little twirl. The boys are bowling T-shirt. Yeah, so thank you very much for all of that. One thing left to say, boys.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.